All right. Oh, where's the camera? Let's make sure we got a camera on here. There we go. Morning, everyone. Morning. Some amazing trades for you guys who were trading Globex last night. Both the Asia and London session giving you massive range, over 500 points. Okay, once they settled down with what we were waiting for yesterday, we had to get through FOMC, but the more important stuff, really, like we said, FOMC was likely to be a bit of a nothing burger. It all depended on the tone. Was Powell going to step down and walk away? Yes, was the answer. But it was the MAG. All right, MAG earnings, and we split on the earnings, and there were some monster moves, which we're going to go over. So as always, we're starting on the daily. What are we in? Well, we're in an outside bar. You can see daily's built. Nice here. Held its LBS zone. We're in an outside bar. Right, no breakdown to here. We continue to look for higher prices. We have plenty of room now. Okay, like we said, here's the 5-day. If it wants to come right up to the top Bollinger Band, not necessarily today, but just in general, we have room, even if we think about the range like this. Okay, it's breakout point. Even if it does a measured move, we're looking up towards 8 and 900s. Okay, so it has room, and that's what we're looking at today. Are dips going to hold? All right, are we going to hold sort of the top of these? Maybe slightly lower for a continuation, or is this going to be a look above and fail? We will only know that if we start to break down and see the backside. Right now, we don't have a breakdown for backside, so we're possibly thinking more bullish to start the day, but let's get into the hourlies. All right, here are hourlies. You can see right now we're holding above New York sessions value. So this was New York sessions value right here yesterday. In fact, can we just get rid of that so we don't have to see it anymore? There we go. Right, this was New York sessions value yesterday. This was New York sessions fair value, point of control. It is also current week now, point of control, has moved down. All right, so we did that move to 420s that we talked about yesterday. So the H1 did the old ping pong, and eventually on earnings, it got the break, and this was the big level, 420s. All right, we pulled back off the 420s. What did we hold? Previous day point of control. Going to remove that so we can see a little bit more. Thank you so much. All right, held the previous day point of control, caught a bid, and we drive upside to make new all-time highs. All right, once we sweep out this liquidity, bulls get trapped at the highs. We do what? We fade back in. Where do we fade back into? Well, where we just broke out from. Right back into previous day point of control. What's happened there? They found a bid again. Right, so you can see this level here. All right, where we built out all this H1 yesterday, and we've continued to build out. Let me just clean this up, get rid of the U. There we go. This level here continues to hold as a potential demand block. It's choppy in here, but there are buyers very, very willing right now. You can see all of these buyers. We talked about it yesterday. There's been a buyer on the tape there, very willing to get up that upside move. What we need to be aware of this morning is where we're going to buy off. Now, I quite like this 300 range, this top side of here at the moment. We've just held, broken out. I want to see, are we going to be willing to hold this 300 for a dip and rip? What we also have to be careful of is if we just zoom out and we try and be neutral biased, right? If we just think about most of this as a range, I would say this is a bottom range down here. We've broken out to the top range. We haven't actually been able to hold a top range yet. We've done a full rotation backwards and forwards. So the question that I'm starting to pose is, are we going to hold any of these RBS zones, right? Are the longs early morning going to hold these, or do they need a deeper wash to run out all these bulls back towards this 300 and catch a bid over previous days value? Right, so that's my question this morning that I'm posing for the market. Are we willing to see that? If not, what we do need to be careful of is going to be very, very tricky with how we built it. If this is a failed breakout and we can't get back up there, all right, then this here can become a bit of a rotation. And if and when they're ready, underneath all this, we will see weakness. I'm much more, I know you're going to be like, oh, you're shorting weakness there. You're shorting the low side. I know. But what I don't want to do is pick tops. All right, what I don't want to do is pick tops. So the only other option really is if you're playing for this move back here, but you're going to have to be covering in some of these, expecting a dip and hold. If you get the runner, then you can add back on for weakness. The only other thing would be another failed breakout and a backside move in. But otherwise, the market's pretty bullish. We're bullish on all time frames right now. We're breaking out. It's just whether we can hold dips this morning. All right, same story. If we look at this 5 minute here, just so you can see the GEX levels, you can see we're in positive gamma. So they should be buying dips and selling rips right now. All right, and the positive gamma is above this 300. So something like this is what I'm looking for this morning. We can have a go early, but 300 might be asking a lot for it to come back down there, but that's a level of interest for me. I really like that 300 zone. So we'll see if they're willing to hold this or the 300s to get going today. And you can see 885 is the big target right now. If they can get going, there is now some liquidity above that. All right, let's do the same story on ES. Okay, you can see the rotation. We talked to, you can still draw it from Monday. All right, same kind of deal here. All right, this is the zone where they're willing to hold dips. All right, they are not willing to let go of this. This is your put support. All right, the question now is, after doing all this work, right, can they hold down into here now rather than coming as deep? Can they hold sort of the 180s and continue this move upside? We didn't have, just want to check that. Do we have new highs? Maybe we do. Give me a second, folks. Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see if we can pull back in and hold. Same kind of story, right? Are we able to pull back in and hold towards these sort of 180s-ish? If we lose the 180s, then probably a deeper rotation back down into these sort of 50s. But then my first thought would be, are we willing to hold the 180s after building this out? We want to be careful. A lot of this is going to depend how we act with the mag this morning, which we're going to go over very, very shortly. So I'm watching that, and I'm watching this, and if we lose this, then we're going to likely see that backside rotation. All right, and it can all happen very, very quick. It has been happening very, very quick overnight. The ATR is very big, so you're not going to need a lot of size. Spiders, same kind of story. You can see this big drive up, so we're gapping up. All right, we filled this gap imbalance pre-market. We want to see if we can fill that in the main New York market. So again, do dips hold? Do they fill this, and can they get going above it? If we see this be filled and failed, or filled above and failed, maybe there's a rotation for you guys there. If you want to play that counter trend, look above and fail, move back in. I'm going to wait to see if these hold. That's what I would like to see at the moment. But, you know, we'll watch the tape as we get into it. QQQ, same story. As you can see, 665 is the big level. So if the Qs are willing to hold 665, it can get really, really going. Otherwise, this is that deeper move back in that I would like to see for a cheaper buy and attempt to move higher. Again, if we lose that level, though, you've got to think we're probably backside with a look above, because then we've got the liquidity to go lower. So this is why I'm waiting to see how we act here this morning, because we are elevated. Dixie pulling back in. Let's just zoom out of that. Yeah, it's still doing the dance. So you can see swept the liquidity above here that we talked about. That gap almost filled, and now maybe coming backside. So if it makes a lower high here and a lower low here, then we know Dixie's going to roll over. That will give the market good impetus to continue to make new highs. CL pulling back in a little bit. This is its base, right? Same level. So you'd be watching to see, does this pull back in and hold 101s to keep going? It's a bit of a weird market right now where everything's up, but there we go. So divergences across the board. VIX is coming downside. This is healthy for the market. All right, the more we go down, the less volatility, the more of a bullish move we go. So if we start rejecting 18s and rolling back down towards 17s, and even a 17s break, then this market can really get going. Now, here is the big stuff. All right, this is the big stuff we need to be aware of. Apple, earnings tonight. Okay, earnings tonight, big one to look at. It held dips again. You can see this base here holding. We are in a rotation. The question right now is, can it get above sort of the 70s and look for that move to 75s? All right, that's what it's trying to do. If it fails to do that, we come right back down to the bottom side of the range. But we had big earnings last night, and here we go. All right, you can see these rotations are wild, absolutely wild. All right, these are 5-minute bars. So we pushed 68s, flushed to 44s, before then catching a bid on that put support, and we've come right back up to 275. So Amazon getting going here in breakout. The big question is, will New York traders take profit, and do we see this pulling back in? All right, or are we going to get over 75s and just keep squeezing all day long? But this is going to be the story of like a mixed bag on the mag right now. You can see we're coming right into this big cool wall. All right, so this is the story on the mag. Do we see profit taking and a drive back in, and do they hold those bids? Google, same story. Ripper, all right? Rip up, pull back, breakout, pull back, and off to the races. We're up big on this, all right? Not me personally. I'm not trading it, unfortunately. Waiting for it to come back in. But, I mean, the market is up big on it. So, again, the same question. We're now at highs, right? We have this basing out overnight. Are they willing to hold this? Do they just rotate this? Or do they lose this gap? All right, do they lose the gap? All right, if the market's going to get going, we're going to need these to hold the gaps. The reason being because we have weakness over here. All right, Meta almost 10% down. It had massive beats, but they don't like the spend right now. That's the story. The huge spend in AI, but they announced, I think, a bond sale this morning to raise some equity. So we might see this come back up to the top side. We'll see. And you know, if Meta turns this whole thing around, I'd be very surprised. But if it did, be very, very good for the market. But I'd imagine you build out some kind of range in here, and we'll probably have an attempt lower over the next 2-3 days on Meta, would be my imagination for this. Let's see where we're trading at. Yeah, coming right back in to this range. So we'll see. They're going to probably do this for a little while again on Meta while they make their mind up. Microsoft, same story, like very, very volatile. Okay, big drive on earnings. Comes up to 45s, flushes right the way down to 40. That's a 10% move in, what, 3 minutes? God knows what that is on your 0 DTEs. And then we just go sideways. We've not really gone anywhere. We're slightly weaker, but we're still holding inside this print from Monday morning. So still just trading in a range on Microsoft. Nvidia, coming back in a little bit. Remember, we've been in breakout in Nvidia. So we're watching this here, right? Is Nvidia willing to hold the 10s? Maybe it needs to fill its gap and then have another go back up. You want to be very, very careful here because you've had these attempts higher, right? And you're starting to build liquidity here. If they start to break 7s, right, you might see a bigger wash. So in fact, we can put a little price alert. We'll put a little price alert at 7s, somewhere around there, just so we know if it's coming back in. Tesla. Still chopping that range. All right. It needs to really get back up above these 76s, certainly above 75s. All right. So we had Monday, Tuesday coming back down. It's holding midpoint of Monday, which is good, but strength will come if it can hold above 75s for this move. Otherwise, this can still be built to come back and retest Monday lows. So we are quite literally a mixed bag in the Mag 7 right now. We can look at some of the broader names. Oracle still basing out. That still looks like it's got more downside to come in it. AMD still holding up okay, but you know, it needs to build liquidity up here to have a go. Otherwise, you're going to set a lower high and we can run all these stops out. Netflix has come right back in. It's really perking my interest down here. I just want to see how this market reacts the next few days. Same with AVGO, trying to get back to the highs like AMD and a few others. So yeah, we're just gonna have to like give it a bit of patience, or I would imagine the open is going to be insanely volatile today, while the big players reposition on the mag given the size of those moves last night. So I am bullish bias overall, and I want to buy dips if possible. And these are these grey boxes are the areas that I'm interested in. I'd much rather we come down here on a flush at them in the morning and see if everyone is going to hold in. So we'll see. If there's an opening drive where we just squeeze straight up, there's nothing I can do with it. We would have to let it finish squeeze and then maybe look for a backside counter play back into, you know, if we squeeze this out and fail, we could maybe look for a short down to there, maybe even down to there, and see if they want to bid it. If we flush the open, right, then we're watching this area to see how we hold there. That's my plan at the moment. Again, these are massive moves. We're talking about a 200-point flush if it comes in. Big if, but that's where my head's at the moment, all right? And we're what? 25 seconds away from the open. So I would imagine this is going to be very volatile here, folks. So let's see. Let's see what we get. Good luck, everyone. Have your plan. Stick to your plan. All right, remember, we've got Apple earnings tonight. And we're going to have to get through these mag now. They're going to have to digest everything that's just happened, I would imagine. So probably very volatile coming up. Here we go. Coming back in, holding previous week highs for now. Big split in the mag as expected. So come back in towards previous week close. This block and then this block. Here's the big flush, the start of the first big flush, so into previous week close. There's previous week close. They've still got to come lower to previous day high here and VWAP, but they're starting to find a little bit of a bid down here. They've got a lot of room if they want to fail here, though. So the first grey box holding up for now, but I don't think that would be it. I think I want to wait to see if we can come down into this. Here's VWAP and previous day high. So this is the first potential RBS zone. If they don't bid this, then they're probably coming right back down into this, folks. So these are the two sort of marked areas I have, waiting to see if they bid this or not. Because if not, we're going to move much, much lower. Still, they're selling. Very heavy selling. So lots of profit taking here. Previous day high holding up for now. I think we're going to move lower. It looks weak. Still holding previous day high for now. Still think we're going to move lower. I think we're coming right back into this. Like I said, if you wanted to take that counter trend trade, you should be taking partials here and waiting to see if we can get down into here now. Those are the trades, the early morning setups, I would say. Back to VWAP. It's getting stuck here again. Still so much selling on the tape, folks. There's so much selling on the tape. No reason to be buying this right now. I think we're coming right down into here at the moment. Very, very aggressive selling. W with the flush call. Oh, nice. You got it. Nice work. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if we can come back in and how we act. I'm waiting to see if I can get bullish down here at the moment, but we'll see. You want to be locking some in here. Some buyers stepping up. I still think we're going to move lower. Oh, look, Bookmap's crashed again. What is going on with these morning sessions? It can't get through the tape quick enough. It just pauses for me. Okay, a few bids showing up here. There are sellers still stacking up 30s and 40s right now, so that you're aware. So sort of VWAP and just over. I still think they're looking to sell this aggressively at the moment. ES coming into its VWAP as well, into its first RBS zone. Here's the pop-up. Now, do they sell this for the move down to the next block would be the question I would pose right now. Do they come right back down into here? Sellers still coming in. We're starting to base out a little bit. Sellers still at sort of up to 40s. I think they're looking for more downside pressure here at the moment. Here we come, the move to 25s. Still there, guys, at 25. So you can see we're just under this grey block. I'm wondering if we're going to sell this back down into this next block at the moment. While they figure it out. Looks like it to me. Here we go. All right, see if we can join a piece of this short now that we've lost one block. Here we go. All right, little imbalance here at 60. So I'm short now into this, covering a piece into this little imbalance at 60. Just in case that is all we're going to do. Hopefully we close this. And then I'm going to think about the long down here. I'm in the short now for the rejection for this move. Oh, we're not even on the right time frame. Sorry, this rejection. Here we go. Coming into close. Can we see a bit more? I'd like to see a bit more. Big seller came in here at 50s. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize I was on the 5 minute. You can see what I was looking at. I was just waiting for it to build out that next structure for this move down. And this is the move, right? We talked about moving from here to here at the open in the opening drive. This is what we're getting now. It's starting to see some sellers get a little bit caught at the lows. It can still move lower, but we are sort of in and around that block right now. ES has also come into its VWAP. All right, so we might get a wiggle here. Just be aware of that. This is the kind of zone where I thought we might want to bid off if we're going to bid today. Be aware of it. Still seeing weakness. Still holding some. Think we can still break lower here. Lots of buyers down towards 300. Here we go. I'm moving my stop down now. I'm going to protect 350s now. Oh, come on. Stop. Move for me. Right. I don't want it back above 350s. I'll re-add short if we pop and fail, but I'm given that the size of this move is pretty good. Here we go. Right, so now I'm going to try and protect 46s. Now here we go. Peeling some off into PDC here, so gap now filled. And this is the area where buyers might show up. Just be aware of that. That's a brilliant trade. Really, really nice trade. Those of you who took the short at the open or took the short with me here for the continuation, this is the block where buyers might well show up. So you've got PDC here, VWAP here, and a high volume node here. This is the difference between being positive or negative on gamma for the day. Really, really good work, folks. So make sure you're paying yourself. Beautiful. I just want you to know, NQ, you're my favorite girl. Okay. If we start to reclaim 50s, I'm going to be done with it. Because we know this is the area where I might want to bid off. All right, so I'm just like, in my head, I'm saying if we reclaim 50s, I will be done with it. It's a big move. If you look at the opening 5 minutes, it's a big, big move. So over 50s, they can maybe start to lift. I'm out of it now. All right, because if they lift, they can come right back up to the 400s. We're thin. Oh, Alex hasn't even put volume on. My apologies, my friends. It's too busy this morning. There we go. All right, you can see we're thin in here. So this is why I'm watching. Like if we get through the 50s, they can lift straight up towards the 400s. Okay, so this zone was a potential buy zone. I'm not buying yet because I haven't seen what I'd want to see to buy. We can still reject up here and sort of base out a bit before we can think about buying it. Time for the boozer. Yeah, you guys made your money with me already. Congratulations. What a beauty. Hey, that was a pretty good call, if I don't say so myself. Probably flush at the open. We'll see how we act, whether they bid here. If not, next grey box. So we take the flush from here to here. Repricing 50s. Probably got a chance to come up through here now, like we just talked about. Fill some of this imbalance. Now, sellers will want to defend this low volume node up here. They will not want it go back through here because it will go all the way back higher. And we're just going to wait now. So I put a little bit more of a short on here. Here we go. Covering some here. Into this low volume node. If we break down here, great. If we don't, it would be the fail breakdown. Bye, darling. Love you. Did you walk her? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, beautiful. All right, taking a piece more off here. Beautiful. We're going to get the rundown. Locking in some good money here this morning. Come on. So this is the area where bulls are trying to defend. We'll see if we can get a little extension here. There's the little extension. Got to be careful around here now. Here we go, locking a piece more in here. We don't really want it to reclaim PDC now for the runners. This is where shorts can start to get themselves trapped if they chase too much. And we can look for previous day value area high, which feels like it's coming now. 300's the whole number. ES still yet to fill its gap, so ES still has a bit more room. Here's the lift back up. Buyers stepping in here now. For the first time, seeing some bigger buyers starting to step in. I still think we've got weakness in this tape, but it can move lower, but I don't want to get caught. So 130 lot just stepped in at 320. So they're trying to protect 320. You can see this gamma level is massive. If we break that, we go to previous day value area high, and I'm probably going to be pretty much fully done with it once we get there. Come on. Come on. Just break to previous day value area high for me. Come on. Do it for me, please. Pretty, please. Not quite there. Almost there. Maybe we need another pop to fail if we're going to get down there. Because if we get that move, yes, we'll fill its gap and then we'd be efficient. Gap closed. Yeah, the gap's been closed. The yellow line is the gap's been closed. Again, we don't want to be short down here too much. This is where shorts will get stuck, trying to sell down here. So we're just holding runners for extensions. If they don't extend, this is where shorts get stuck. We would like previous day value area high. Come on, please. Pretty, please. How do I have to talk to you to go there today? Pretty, please. No. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, pretty, please. Pretty, please. Pretty. Come on, you're so close. You're so close. You're like 15 points away. Come on, baby. ES getting very close as well. Here we go. Oh, you got so close to my fill on the final one. Come on, you bugger. Come on. Yay! Guess who's got filled? All right, job done. Right, I'm now out of this, and I'll wait to see if we melt inside yesterday's value now. So the next trade will be, all right, this, or it would be this to come down to here. You guys might want to hold more size, but I'm done with that. That's all I needed today. Pretty, 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 please. What a beautiful trade. So we just caught that from basically 400s all the way down into here. It's about 120 points. Some of you would have got the whole thing from up here. Some of you might want to keep holding to see if we can get to 225s. All right, I will, being honest with you, I'm done with it. That's all I needed. All right, this was very, very simple today. I wanted to wait to see what happened. I felt that there's a good chance we came into this, but I captured this part of the move once we built structure. Done with it. Right, job done. I'm off chat. 10 minutes into stream, we're done. I will see you guys. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I wouldn't do that to you guys. But that's what you guys should do if you've made your money. Now I have to teach. Yeah, now I have to sit here and teach for hours and hours and hours on end. Nvidia bleeding, yeah, it is. I didn't get the price alert come though, and we've broken it. I think. Have we broken that shelf? We set an alert. Why didn't the alert go off? Oh, good one, TradingView. You absolute klutz. Is it just me, or did we set an alert? We did definitely set an alert, and that definitely hasn't gone off. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. So scorecard for today, up quite a few thousand on that. That's nice. We'll just wait for the wiggle now around here, folks. All right, you have to wait for the wiggle. See what they do with it. Remember, it's like I said, shorts can get stuck if they keep selling too low. So there is a continuation here, but the ES has now filled its gap. There is a continuation if they're going to rotate yesterday's range. Otherwise, this is possible. This can be, I know it sounds wild, this can be a dip to hold. If we're looking at the H1, it's a big if. All right, we've come right back in. We failed to break the highs. We're coming right back into where? To where we found dips. Right, the safest short now, honestly, is underneath all of this. Right, that's probably the safest short. Is like you can either take the range rotation short if they're willing to do it, but the easiest one is going to be this now. Right, if we trap all of this, and it might be next week, if they let go, this will be the easiest short. Right, this can still be a pullback if you think about this. Right, it can still be a pullback to hold. Right, it can still be. So I don't want to be short here. I was willing to play the short down into it. I'm willing to bid off it if we start to show momentum. I'm willing to get short under here if we flip this whole block. This giant weekly block, this whole thing. That if we gap down next week, I'll be looking for that. Very simple. All right, bid's starting to show up here. This is what we thought. Okay, so bid's starting to show up. So we'll be going to be careful here now. And we can think about if there's a way of getting long if we start to flip momentum. All right, so the ES filled its gap, found a bid. All right, it's coming right up to its New York VWAP. We might chop around here for a little while. But this would be the sort of 9:45, 10 a.m. bid back up. But we'll see. Buyers now will want to hold, what's this, 22s down to 06s really. I'm not going to have a bid on this yet. I want to give this a chance to sort of just base out for a bit. Yeah, W's in chat if you got that with me. Can you look to buy? I mean, you can. You just have to know, like, we haven't shifted like flow zones or anything like that yet. But if dips start to hold, which you're starting to see, right, into key levels, this is going to be massive. If dips start to hold, then you can look for this move back upside. But this VWAP is going to be massive across the board because you've gone from ES just went from gap filled to VWAP. All right, but this is the area where I said I might want to be a buyer from. What I'd like to do is see a bit more structure build out, but we might not get it. It might just be a V shape if they go, but we'll see. I'm going to be patient here. I want to see if and how this holds because they can still rotate yesterday's range. I'm trying to be like very, very patient. Yeah, lots of you getting it. Nice work. So that was the pullback back into the 320s we just talked about. The buyers will want to support 320s to 307. So that's kind of your dip buy if you're going to try and be early here. You got to understand you're below all the view ups right now. And that's kind of the dip buys at 320s if they're willing to hold it. Give you a readout on the mag here. Tesla 0.5% down, Nvidia just under 1.5% down, Microsoft 3.5% down or just under, Meta 8.9% down now already, Google 5.37% up, Amazon 0.71% down, Apple 0.25% down. Right, so here comes the lift. So that 20s held. If you took that 20s we just talked about, it held. So these imbalances here held. Where that buyer last came in held. I'll move this along a bit for you so you can see it right in here. Right, these 20s, this big buyer, they held this little shelf. So buyers are trying to hold for a higher low now for this squeeze back up, and they've got a long, they can fill this whole thing in if they really, really want to, if they take complete control. And you can see above, we called it above 50s before, didn't we? I said above 50s, I'm not going to hold on, I can always add back in. So above 50s, it's the same level. That 50s is a major, major level, 50s, and you can see where we get thin above 50s to 65. Coming back down for those 20s again. We might base out here for a bit while they make their mind up. There's VPOC. This is strong selling still. The ES rejecting VWAP. They can chop around here for a bit. I don't think they're done selling at the moment. Let's see. We will see. Let them base out for a while and make their decision for me. Bears are going for the kill. I mean, I don't know, my friend. Like, I just look at the H1 and just think we are exactly where we were yesterday. All right, momentum's been downside this morning, but we are exactly where we were yesterday. If we get break into previous day's value, they can try and rotate it. But just zoom out of the H1, like, it's easy to get caught in the slide, all right? But this is where we were yesterday, right? We held overnight. We're just back to that same level. Bears go for the kill under here, all right? It can still be a pullback that holds. I know that might sound like, really? Yes, really. This can still be a pullback that holds until they let go of this, all right? This is a dangerous zone to trade in. I'm just trying to be honest. That's my thoughts. I would be very, very careful getting short down here in the new money short unless we start to rotate. Can we delete that? Unless we start to rotate yesterday's range, and even then you want to be very careful, all right? Because at the moment we're holding previous day's value, aren't we? All right, so if bears don't get this breakdown here, they will need this to get to here and here, and that is a very choppy range to try and trade in. All right, that's what they will need. They will need a rotation in here. If we keep supporting a bid above here, it's very dangerous. Even in here, it can be nasty. It was nasty there yesterday. It can be nasty there again. I'm just trying to make that clear for you. You weren't zoomed out yet. Very important to be zoomed out. I'm not saying we can't break down. I'm just saying, like, for now, it's a pullback. All right, and it's nothing more than that for now. And you're starting to see some absorption underneath 3 at 305, certainly at 80s and under. And that's all it is. It's just absorption. You're not seeing like a big rejection yet. And we can go sideways here a bit while it makes its mind what it wants to do next. What the potential moves I want to see today? We've gone through it all already, my friend. Talked about it right at the beginning, 9:15. Like I tell you guys, it's not for my benefit, but try not to like skirt through lots of channels, and I will try and give you the pathing of what we're looking for each morning, and then it's up to you whether you want to stick to that. Okay. Basing out here, building liquidity here. ES had its VWAP up at the 180. It's closed its gap. They've both closed their gaps and become efficient. The story would be now, can bulls take over above the 150, 160s to try and start to reclaim all the way up to sort of 90s? Or do bears keep us in this range, build out the range and look for the breakdown? If we see weakness under value, previous day value area high, I will consider joining again. If they're going to do the rotation. See bears coming in here, but there are lots of bids at this value area high at the 180s. But if we see weakness under this, I will consider joining for the move down to here. I will be a bit more aggressively taking profits if I see weakness under here, because it's a very, very tough trade that back inside yesterday's value. But let's see. Lots of bids here at 300 down to 60. So if we see weakness here, I'll consider a join. ES is rejecting the 180 and both its VWAPs. And we do have relative weakness in the Qs, which is good. If we're going to be short side, this is the market to be short side in at the moment. Right, back to value area low on the session. Watching this, if we break 218, stay heavy. Here's a big seller. This is the absorption level. Just come in 100 lots so far as being absorbed. See if we can move to 40s here from what I'm seeing on decks. So if pops start to fail now, I'll try and add in. Okay, a piece on here for the move down to 40s and 20s. And I want to be careful. Very, very careful. And we have to reject in front of 300 here. Otherwise I will cut. And they're adding liquidity at 10s. It's a very risky trade this for a continuation. Just playing what I'm seeing. Oh, they've just popped stops. They got to get a flush now. Here we go. They got to hold this flush now. Otherwise I'm out. This is getting very, very dangerous down here. Sellers coming back in. Supporting 290s for the sell. Good. We want flush down towards previous day. Point of control here if possible. Bids at the moment supporting 60s. ES back into its PDC as well. So be aware of that. If ES holds PDC here, we are not going to move lower. So we would need ES to let go of it. So I am positioned short. I'm smaller size than that first trade. Big buyers stepping in here trying to reject price. We need to stay heavy versus sort of 300. Otherwise, we're going to go back inside because it would be a failed breakout or failed breakdown. So back towards the 300. I'm getting ready to cut this if we pop up above 300. What a battle this is down here. Wow. Big size coming through the tape. It's a big reaction of PDC on ES like you will see. If you look over at ES, that's a big reaction. Still holding this because we're under 300. But if we pop over, they can fill higher. Still holding this for now. Big buyer came in at 60. So I want to break under 60s. There's a 116 lot buyer at 60s that we can use their pain if we break lower here. It's becoming a very big battle on the tape here. Here we come. Get under these 60s. Let's use his pain for the flush down to previous day point of control here, please. Come on. Use his pain right now. Right now. Here we go. Come on, baby. Use his pain. Don't you dare absorb around these 60s. Use his pain. Let's get down to 20s. Let's get down to 20s. Let's do the rotation, please. You pain in the butt. Here come the sellers. 117 stepping in there. Oh, he spoofed it. He spoofed it. I'm getting close to taking this off because I don't like the wiggle. We should come to 20s here. There are big buyers down here stepping in. We should come to 20s here. All right, I'm going to move my stop down to 78s. Come on. Come on. Give me 20s. Here we go. Here we go. Give me 20s. Give me 20s. They're all on the tape. Under 20s now. We feel good. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. ES starting to break down. Let go of that fucking low, ES. Help me out here. Come on. Here we go, folks. Here we go. 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 Oh, missing my cover there by 10 points. Come on. 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 All right. Hocking some out there. Taking some out. We want to protect 60s now. We want to protect 60s now. So we're there or thereabouts. I've taken a lot of my size off there into previous day point of control. If we let go of previous day point of control, we can think about the move back down to the 120s, even the 100 sub 100s. All right, so if you've got enough size on, but I've peeled a lot off here. We want ES now to reject PDC. It needs to reject PDC here on ES. So 60s is the level, folks, right? That's where the buyers came in aggressively. 60s is the level sellers will want to defend, there or thereabouts. Over that, you want to be done with it. Or, I mean, you could let it pop up a bit, but that's a big level. You want their pain, so you want 60s to stay heavy. At the moment, we're coming up to 60s, rejecting it, which is good. That needs to continue. Nice breakdown on ES. Needs ES to stay heavy now under PDC. I think we can move lower if we can reject 60s. It's just ES has got to stay heavy under PDC. Come on. We haven't quite tapped the 20s yet, but they were there or thereabouts, aren't we? We're there or thereabouts. Here we go. You're going to get it. Come on, give them the 20s. Give them previous day point of control, and then ideally they flush under this for you guys. Nvidia putting the market down. I mean, I wouldn't say it's just Nvidia, mate. You know, Meta 9.86% down. That might have something to do with it as well. How about Microsoft 4.41% down? All right, they're all bleeding. All right, 60s. Remember, that's your out. I would say. Well, for me, I'd say that's the out. You might want to risk 86s, which is where the sellers came in, but I would say you'd want to keep these buyers trapped here. And you want ES to reject PDC, which is coming up to now. You want to see it stay heavy for there. You can see the importance of this 60s level. We keep coming up and tapping into 60s. Here we go. Come on, just give them follow through. There you go. Right, there's your cover. And let's just see if it bleeds now. If it bleeds, you're looking for the next level will be 180 and then sort of 116s. Beautiful. Let's go. All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Psychological number here. Previous day open here, 200. Hopefully you get under this. So 180s and then the low 100s. And I tell you what, we come under this. It's good night market. All right. Under this, it's good night market. We're going to come right back down into here. If we like, I don't know if we do that today, but anytime in the next few sessions under here, this becomes possible, and we've still got this naked level down here. So this will be a true backside, right? Under these, this will start feeling backsidey. Under this, it is like, you know, puke out market time. Do you remember yesterday I said, you just got to get through Wednesday. Let it do its nonsense, and then here's the 60s test. You want to be out of this for a break above 60s. Let it do its nonsense on Wednesday and build it out. I promise you the moves will come Thursday and Friday. Right? Right? That's not about my ego. That's about you guys learning. We need to build liquidity out to use liquidity. Yesterday was a perfect excuse yesterday morning to chop and chop and chop. Same as Monday, Tuesday. Build and build and build and build and build and build and build. Then use the news, right? And it was a pretty much sell the news. Most of those earnings were actually pretty good. It's a sell the news event, all right? It's been a sell the news event. So if we have a look over here, it's a sell the news event. This is what I said. We said it in the newsletter. I'm concerned about a sell the news event. Why? Because we priced so much in for the last 3 weeks. We didn't leave much room. They would have to have the biggest blowouts of all time for us to really want to be risk on, in my mind. Lucid off today? No, I've traded my Lucid again. Again, I'm trading very small size on my Lucid because my goal right now is just to take 2K payouts. All right, so there we go. I've hit, all I need is 150 each day. All I want to do is take 2K payout again, week after week after week, and then roll 8 grand into the live. I can't roll more than 8 grand into the live, so there's no point me pushing right now. On the other accounts, I can show you them up. TPT on this one, locked in another 3. And I traded one little Apex one today as well. I can show you them up. Pretty nice on that overall. I'll be rotating that quite a bit. And then I did put some on my SQQQ this morning as well. So I traded long SQQQ this morning. I started covering that in my cash account. It's kind of hard to manage both brokers at the same time. You can't connect to Lucid. Well, I'm connected to them. I can't tell you why. I don't know. You'd have to email them. Would I consider a long or more of a short? At the moment, I wouldn't consider longs until, right, we get back above this. All right. You need to get back above this and ideally back above both VWAPs for that return back in. All right, you can see this is the same level. Look, nothing's changed. What did we hold overnight and yesterday? All right, think about this. Okay, this can be the same level. We're still in a giant range. But some of you might want to be dip longs there. That's just not how I play. I would want to see this reclaim some major levels here. So if we're going to have the 945 to 1015 trade, which it looks like it's trying to do, right? There's fair value. There's, at the moment, that's looking like failure to go back inside of yesterday's range. So we had one attempt. We took this short down here. Nice money made. If we break out and start to hold above here, you can think about that long back upside. But you want to be careful today because the momentum's been heavy. Right, so I don't think you want to front run the longs. I would join once we start setting higher highs and higher lows. We've not done that yet. All right, this can still be sold back into. Right, we're in a D shape at the moment. If we start to base up here, certainly remember we talked about it's thin above the 50s. All right, then there's maybe some relief if they come in today. But you're going to need the mag to really want to do that. At the moment, we're not seeing that. Right, remember my first thought today. Right, if we go back to what I said on the morning call, I'm going to give this market a chance. I want to see a morning flush, and I'm either going to think about dips here or here. That was where my mind first was. I was thinking about this or this for the lift back up. I ignored this move. Right, wanted to see if it held. It broke underneath. It flipped this. We created this, so we get short. Why? Very simple. There's your structure. Right, so we're now leaving buyers trapped, and I think, okay, well, we can at least get a short down to here. Okay, and then I'm covering, thinking, okay, are we going to get long out of this now? Okay, are we going to get long out of this now? They have the ability to do it here. Here's the wiggle. There's the failure to print and hold. Do we change the structure there? No, we build internal liquidity. So I wait, and then I take, I think it's this pop or one of these pops here, and then take this as a separate trade for the rotation. And now we can wait. If they can do this here and build some liquidity out here, then they have the chance. But at the moment, this is still in a sell. All right, at the moment it's in a sell. You need to wait for it. All right, however you want to talk about it, Lance's V or a buy side of the curve, you need to wait for it to do this, don't you? Otherwise, you're trying to bid against weakness, which can keep breaking down. What are my grey boxes? They are volume areas that I'm interested in. All right, so we could have bid this morning, but we didn't. We broke under. This is why I wait for the reaction. You know how like other people will just leave limits here? No, I won't do that. I want to see what we do. Oh, we flip it. Okay, that's a sell to the next zone because we're going box to box. Then we went value to value. You could call that box to box. Under here, we'd go box to box. In here can be very choppy, right? Because that's what we've done for the last few sessions. In here, we get very choppy. We get very choppy. All right, this is your chop zone. It's told you. We know it's the chop zone because it's made it very, very clear it's a chop zone. Under there, you will see true weakness. And the next thing we're waiting for, remember, will be Apple earnings tonight. the last mag. And everyone will be looking at Apple saying, can you save the market? The fact that you don't have the same CapEx spend with on AI, can you save the market? Alex, I think it's going to go down even lower because tomorrow is the bank holiday everywhere. Is it? So I don't think it is here, mate. And I don't think we go lower because a bank holiday exists, if it does exist. Should we short here if we get a bounce from VWAP? You mean a rejection of VWAP? It's tricky here now, mate. Like the easy moves have gone. Like, see how I've like lost interest, right? Why is that? For me, the easy moves have gone. What are the easy moves? From here to here, from here to here, all right? We've been in a sell now for the first 30 minutes. We're into where? Into this area where we can chop. So if you're going to sell here, what's your target? That would be my question to you. If you're going to sell, let's say you're selling here, what's your target? We don't have to come down here. We've already tagged it and bid off it again. Doesn't mean we can't, but the first move is always the best move. That's all I'm saying. Like the first move to liquidity, the first move here is always the best move. We are still in a sell. I'm not willing to bid, but all I'm saying is it gets harder and harder and harder as we've already tagged levels, right? It's clearly still in a sell. We're clearly still rejecting, but finding an area to feel comfortable in right now to sell is what I think is hard at the moment. Lucid coupon, yeah, use code FCT, give you 40% off. What about a long to the 400s? But a long from where? Yes. Again, yes. But unless you're going to bid here, which is very risky, risking this, the safest long is going to be what? If and when. It's an if and when, because we don't know. If and when we start to do this. And then we can long, here for the relief. For me, all right, we make this easy. This was like a queen-queen trade. Pretty good, pretty clean. This is maybe like a jack 10. This in here is maybe like you got a pair of fives for a short side, and I don't think you've got anything for a long side. You're like a 3 and a 4 and hoping. All right, so here's the retest of POC again. I don't think there's a long setup yet. The short, you can say like it's the gamma short here, but like all I'm trying to say is I'm running out of edge. It doesn't mean it can't go lower, but I'm running out of edge because we've hit the levels that I would anticipate us hitting. The only thing now would be to rotate all of yesterday, right? Which means you're going to have to let go of fair value. Remember, this is the fairest price from yesterday and of the current week since the Sunday open. So you'd need to have all these buyers decide to liquidate to come down to weakness from yesterday, which looks like you're starting to see in fairness, and then come down to previous week's value area high. So maybe down here you can get down there, but it's much easier to get down there if your core position is up here. I'm not really keen on being a new money short down here. Maybe some of you like playing these, and that's fine. If that's your trade, stick to your trade. I certainly wouldn't be long. There's no reason to be long right now. I've got one of these trading view things where the mouse starts blinking everywhere again, which is great. So we've had Bookmap pause on me again in the morning open. We've had Nvidia not give me the alert, which we set. And now we've had the mouse going mad. Mad mouse. All right. Lots and lots of buyers keeping very aggressive down here at the 45s. All right. If we think about here, think about this. This is your level that I'd be watching right now where they keep trying to bid. See these guys? That's a 200 lot. There's probably at least 200s in there. There's another 200 lot in there and another 200 in here. So 60 to 40 is full of buyers who are currently stuck. All right, so that's their level. 60 to 40 is full of big buyers who are currently stuck. So the sell pressure is still there for a breakdown. It's just, can you get good RR? What are your targets right now? That's how I think. Like, where am I trying to trade into? If this is big put support, it's a grey box for me, so I know that's a level that they can hold. Right? What are the targets? Maybe you guys have taken this to here, but you want to be covering and covering and covering and covering. And I would say anything above, what did we just say? Anything above 43 to 62, that will be where buyers will start to take control. 43 to 62. That is the average price of some very, very big boy buyers. Can I leave my print chart on? Well, then you don't get all the other levels, so it's kind of hard. Maybe we're going to have to look for a way for me to like restructure the stream so you get a bit of everything, but we just run out of room to get everything on. Enough for a short hold till close. Well, like I said, you can say that, but that always depends on where your short is positioned, right? So you can say that, but like, let's say you take a new money short here, right? It might be that you're this much out of the money, even if you're right, before it closes down here, right? It's all about, markets are about timing and positions. Anyone can say, for example, I'm not saying this is you, for example, I get short here, all right? This is Mr. Amateur Trader, right? And they stop out here. Oh, fucking market makers taking my stops. And they get short here, and they get stopped. Fucking market makers are taking my stops. And at the end of the day, it closes here. And they turn to their husband and wife and they go, I knew I was right. I knew I was right. I knew it was going down. Well, whoopee fucking do. Like 50% chance you're going to be right. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down, right? Timing is everything. Timing is absolutely everything. I'm not saying that at any of you specifically. It's just like an example. Oh no, I've left my AirPods out. They're going to be dead for the gym. Let me just get my... you're going to find these. Oh no. Alex is going to have no music in the gym today. What a nightmare. Okay, so we're coming back up towards these buyers that we just talked about, right? We just talked about these big lot buyers. We're coming up to test these buyers who are currently underwater. These guys here, right? These guys are underwater. So if they remain sellers, all right, if they're like, oh, fuck, we give up, we're stopping out break even, you will see sell side pressure. If you reclaim 40s and 60s, they will start to be comfortable again. And we're talking about some very, very big lots here, all right? So right into all these big green bubbles. These are all very, very aggressive big buyers right now. Like I said, I think the edge is gone at the moment. You totally just called out my story. I mean, it's common, mate. We all start there. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Exactly. That's a really good way to put it. Really good way to put it. Alex, I'm sure you're talking to me. You compare to fishing. To even gym bro. Yeah. I have to nowadays. It gets harder and harder as you get older, I tell you. Keep that weight off. Okay, you're over the 40s and 60s. So now I would say if buyers hold dips at 40s and 60s, you're going to see relief upside. All right. And the last sellers level was around point of control, about around the 80s and 90s. So that's the battle right now. 40s and 60s, buyers will want to protect because that will leave them comfortable. If they lose that, they're uncomfortable again. If they protect 40s and 60s, they are going to look for a relief back above value. All right, and we're getting tight here. You can make this easy for yourself as well. You can just do a trend line. Don't get caught as we start to go. Look at the difference in momentum, right? Really good. Strong, smaller. Okay, 40s and 60s is the level. Smaller, sideways a bit more. All right, sellers are looking for this. Buyers are looking for that. You're right at their point right now. We can just talk about this. Right there. We just poked above it into where these sellers last were. This is the level. This is a big, big level here. And I don't want to trade where all the whales are. I want someone to win and get in their slipstream, right? We want someone to win and get in their slipstream. So this morning, whales came in. That's too quick for Alex. Whales came in. We get in their slipstream. Boom. Thanks very much. Whales come in again. We get in their slipstream. Boom. Thanks very much. Now, for me, I let them build out. It might be that they break down all day, and that's fine. But I have to play where my edge is. Can I say happy birthday to my wife, Lauren? Yes, happy birthday, Lauren. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. YM is pumping and RTY is pumping. Yeah, because, again, it's the rotation, right? You have to understand the rotation, right? So if we're coming out of tech, remember, a good way to put it, funds have to make money. They have to make money. So if tech is weak, right? If we rotate out of tech, what can we look at? We can look at other sectors to make money from, right? So we go back into other sectors, which, of course, Finviz is being a pain again. Hello, Finviz. Hello. What is this junk? Okay. So if tech is weak, we can go into other sectors. Industrials, guess what that is? That's your YM. All right. And then small caps is the RTY. All right. So industrials, we're rotating out of tech and we're piling in to industrials. That's the rotation. All right. So those of you who are short are laughing right now. This is your next cover point. We talked about 180s, and then you're looking down here. Obviously, I'm not in this. For me, the RR is gone, for me personally. And you're looking down here now. Value area low. Oh my God, Finviz now clogging up my stream and won't go away. Can we get rid of you? Am I able to show ES? Yeah, it's the same thing, mate, though. And I don't trade ES, so I can't clog up. Remember, I am also here to trade, right? So I have ES over here. I can't just make everything for you guys. Like at some point, you're going to have to get your own stuff sorted, because I also have to execute and trade for myself. As awful as that might sound. All right, don't forget, folks, I would appreciate it if you hammered these likes, all right, so we can start doing the giveaways, as always. Hammer the likes. And we'll try and do a Apex giveaway today. Actually, let's have a look. We can do one more Apex giveaway last day of the month, and then I'm out of codes. Going to get some more codes from them. All right, this grey box holding, 180 put support holding. Like I said, this is why I'm less interested now, because I think your range is getting less and less available. Are we shorting? For me, no. For me, I've taken the trade I want. Like even ES, look, it's finding a bid on top of its big gamma level. I just think for me, yes, we're in a trend, but we're getting tighter. It's probably going to need relief at some point. All right, there's your close. There's the high volume node on gamma. Here's the rotation. All right. The shorts are probably up here, or even better, like if you got a fail break up here or something. But like I would be somewhat cautious of this right now. You'll probably due some relief at some point, even if it wants to move lower. But it's up to you how you want to trade it. For me, like I'm good with it right now. I'm kind of done with it for a moment until I see it like significantly pop or build out, and we can look at the next thing. If you're holding shorts from the start of the day, or you're still holding from here, you can keep holding, right? You're still in downside price action. You've still got targets down below, right? So if you're short here, or you took these, right, you can keep holding, looking for this and this and this. And I would say under this, we will get pretty weak. Certainly, what's this level? Yeah, certainly under here, we get very, very weak. For me, there's lack of edge shorting down here now. What determines my grey boxes? Volume. Volume, my friend. Volume. Edges of volume, basically. Basically where we have shelves. They're normally edges of shelves that I'm looking at. HVA on your chart shorted from, what is this box? 440 to 420. 440 to 420. Up here? This is probably the shelf that we built yesterday. I'd have to draw it all out for you, but 440 to 420. Yes, it's right here. Right here. Current week, value area high. Look at the difference. Thin shelf. Shelf, right? It's the top of the shelf. So if they can't hold above that, they're going to rotate in it to the next low volume shelf. Boom. All right. And if they can't hold that, they're going to rotate to value area low on the current week, which we've just done. Boom. And if they can't hold value area low on the current week, then we can try and rotate to these lows. And then under 950s, 960s, 980s, you will see mega weakness because we're very thin here and this still hasn't been tapped. Alex, when we get the course, do you get access to Discord? Yes, you do. If you do the 20-hour beginning to advanced course, Discord is free with that. There's no monthly charge with that. It's for all the members. Right, so we've done the moves that we were looking for this morning already. We have to wait now. Here's the relief starting. So remember, we're in a D shape down here. I guess you could say it's a D of the B. All right, down here. We've held put support. We've held this node that we've just talked about. We're coming back inside. This is the rotation. So we've reclaimed previous day point of control. They're going to try and come back up to previous day value area high and VWAP and this node. And we can rotate down here. Remember, we've been in the easy momentum is here. Look at the difference. This is starting to get weaker in terms of downside momentum. All right, we can do this for a while. Right, and once they've done this for a while, they can make a decision what they need to do next. I am desperately trying not to play in this. Yeah? Why? What did we talk about from here to here? What did we do yesterday? All right, so what's my expectation today? Well, we've already started doing it. Right, down here we can chop. Once we break away from this, we'll get some momentum again. So I'm just trying to be patient, like trying to limit my trades. Remember, we've had good trades. We had 2 or 3 really good shorts. Now it's like, wait. Just wait and let it develop, right? Wait and let it develop. It's such a big thing, like for newer traders, I think that they struggle with. It's like we have the high probability moves, like we talked about, like king or queen or jack or whatever you want to talk about it. Okay, and now we need to wait. We need to get into those poker hands where you're just like throw away. Maybe one comes and you're the blind and you're like, feather in, doesn't work out your way, throw away. And then you wait, and eventually they're going to give you some decent cards again. And eventually all the other traders or all the other poker players, right, won't have your discipline to wait for ace, and they'll start betting with 2-2 or maybe like a 4, I don't know, 4 jack or whatever. And then you'll have an ace, and because they're bored, they bet when they shouldn't, and then we can use their bet for us, right? We steal their money, we take their money because we've been patient. I can tell Alex is into poker. I'm not really a poker player, to be honest. I like watching it. I'm not. You might find it hard to believe. I'm not a big betting man. I don't like betting. I don't bet on sports. I don't do any of that. It's just not my vibe. It's not my thing. But I like watching anything, any game or any sport or basically anything where I see people who are proficient and with edge. Like, I can tell you now, I could not do what Rips does. When I watch him sit at those poker tables betting big money, I cannot imagine doing that. Kudos. Like, fucking kudos. And all those big players. Did I have a bad experience? No, it's just nothing I've ever been into. It doesn't get me going. Playing sport, that gets me going. Physically dominating an opponent, that gets me going. Yes. Betting, it doesn't do it for me. Like, I make money from work. I don't want to like bet that money when I'm in a pub. I'd rather have a pint and have a chat with mates and appreciate how good other people are. Who's my favorite dart player, wouldn't it be? Well, obviously I have enjoyed watching Luke the last few years, even though he's been booed for recent stuff. He's a kid, man. He's a great player. I bet on sports to buy evals. For the boxes, I look at weekly profiles. No, I look at everything. Previous week, current week, previous day. Look at everything. Everything matters, right? And then Confluence is what works well. All right, so if you think about this box here, this was a big box for me. What did we have in there? We had a Globex level, we have previous day close, and we have a GEX level. All right, so we know that's a big level, and then we get VWAP trade into it. So that's a big over-under level. All right, in here we have a Globex level, we have a volume level, and we have a put support level, put wall. All right, so we know that this is a big level. So these are the big levels right now. Once you get Confluence, if you draw a level and there's nothing else there, you'll start to think, well, price is probably not going to react to that. Right, the higher importance is, the more things would be in the same level. Because if you think, right, options traders might be just trading this and this. People who are playing open and closes might be just trading this and this. People who are trading value areas might just be trading like this and this and this. Right, so when you get lots that are close together, maybe this is also a fib or something. Remember, traders trade many different ways. There's many different ways to see the market. So if you had something which was like a fib level and an EMA level and a volume level and a daily or a weekly level, everyone is looking at the same level, right? It becomes more important. So ES is reclaimed PDC. So ES, we're seeing strength in ES, relative strength in ES, back above PDC, still under both its VWAPs, but we're seeing strength. You can see this trend here as we start to consolidate in here. This is why I'm saying I'm not interested at the moment. Are we going to build out liquidity for a while, I think? Doesn't mean it can't break low. The easy money's gone. I'm not going to be short down here. Remember, the short, I will remind you where we were this morning. Right? You had a short opportunity basically at 500. You've now basically hit a low of 150. All right? That's a big, big move. Right? This can easily come back to the top side of this. Easily. And then you can think about it if you're adamant on trading this chop zone here. But you don't want to be short at the bottom of this. This is asking for it. This is what I'm trying to make you guys see. Like, zoom out. You have to zoom out. Easiest way to do that, in my mind, is just to have an H1 chart up all the time. Right? Here's your H1 chart. There's your failure to follow through. There's the pullback. Where have we pulled back into? Here. Do we want to trade this? Maybe you guys want to trade that. Alex does not want to trade that. He fucking hates stuff like that. That is ugly. I will trade underneath it for pain or above it if we hold, but I don't want to trade this. This is where traders lost their minds yesterday. Remember, Alex was like, no, I'm not doing it. Good luck with earnings. Good luck with FOMC. I'm not playing the games. No, thank you very much. Right? Why? Years of experience. doing what? Losing money trading this, right? Eventually, you get your hand burnt enough times, you're like, nope, not for me. Can I explain how I knew the breakdown was going to happen before the open? Well, I didn't know, all right? It's just like, I don't have a crystal ball. I want to make that clear. I didn't know, but it became high probability. Why? How many stops had we run during Globex? Not him, not him, not him. Or should I say them, not 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 them, and not them. Okay, so every bull who positioned themselves long since 2 a.m. has not been stopped out. It's not normal. That's not normal. What else? Did we break a new high? No. Okay, so these bulls are still caught and everyone's bid back up. So these bulls are caught and everyone's bid back up. So I don't want to trade. I knew there was a very good chance that we'd at least drop down to there. Now, there was a chance here that they did this. That was absolutely possible. Just run a few internals, hold this key level, and trade upside. But once we lost that level, right, then the only thing to then do was trade down to the next block and maybe the next block, which is what we've done, right? We've repriced Globex. So we've taken this, we use all this pain and all this pain to move down into the next support mechanism and the next support mechanism. If we just think about, I'm trying to think about the best way to teach this. Okay, let's imagine this is the stairs. Just like ignore the micro moves. Here's your stairs. That's the main move, right? So if we lose this, where are we going? Where's the next support mechanism? It's kind of, I mean, there's micros in here, but it's here, but really it's here. Yeah? So once we lose that, we shift down. Okay, let's zoom back in. So you're starting to see the relief now. This is what I talked about. You're coming right back to the top side of this. All right, so try to walk down. You get compression in these lows. You're breaking trend now, and now you're going to come and test value area high, New York VWAP, and maybe the 800s again. All right, so this is the range being built out. Where's it being built out? Look left. Same place we built it out the last few sessions. Okay, this is why we expect this here. This is why we're not trading. Well, for me, it's why I'm not trading it here. If you're a range trader, right, then what you're looking for, really, if you're adamant on being short, would be something like this to trade back downside, or maybe a look below and fail to trade back upside. If you're a continuation trader, you need to wait for this break here for the short, or a base and hold here for the relief. Tyson trade possible? Yeah, well, you've pretty much done it. They've said it a bit early. ES has certainly done it. I mean, look at the strength in ES, but there's your IB, there's the VWAPs. I mean, it's possible. It's a shame you haven't come down here since, but that's possible. If we look at an expansion model today, let's think about what the expansion would be. Fuck me, it's going to be huge. Where's the IB? Where's our open? Yeah. We'll be into the next block, right? Basically 27,000. Magic number, right? The magic number, 27,000 from the newsletter. Right, so there's the breakout, pullback. Do buyers hold this edge now? Do they hold value area low on the day, or are we going to start breaking after coming to this low volume node? I'd imagine sellers are going to try and take control here. The book sort of chopping around a bit at the moment. Right, I need to stop teaching and start focusing in a little bit in case there's a new setup here. Can we... Which platforms gives you same day payouts? Take Profit Trader, Trade Day, My Funded Futures do now as well, and Tradeify. TradeSeat, yes, but I don't trade with TradeSeat. Like they've asked me many times, but they don't only use web-based platforms. Until someone uses NinjaTrader and Tradeify, Tradeivate, we don't trade with them generally. There is excess at the low today. There is an 80 lot quarter that low today. There is excess down here right now. So you can see all of this currently being absorbed. They're trying to hold VPOC, but you're just going to keep transitioning. So there's still nothing to do yet. I need to focus in a little bit in case we get the next setup start to develop. So ES has just come right up to 180s and rejected it. Low volume node was probably it. Top step. Top shit. Hey, we're going to change all the rules on you and we're going to claim that we're the best in the business and have the cheapest in the business, even though we don't. And Lucid's way better than us, but we're going to pretend that they don't exist. And then we're going to make sure you pay you out even less. And then sometimes we're not going to pay you out. And you know what? You're only going to be able to use Top Step X, and that's going to crash on you most of the time because we're not going to pay people the money they deserve to fix it properly. And we're going to fuck over every other platform so you can't use it. Yeah. No chance. No flipping chance. Okay, let's see what happens between these two boxes if bulls start to reclaim here or if we're going to see follow through. Bulls trying to do that reclaim, so back towards that VPOC. So this range dances. And value area low again. They're just going to chop this for a while, I think. I don't think there's another setup again for a while. I thought maybe they're going to set it up. Well, we'll see. If they reclaim this, they're going to come topside again for relief. Give you a quick readout on the mag, see where we're at. Tesla finding a bid, almost flat on the day now. 0.03% down. Nvidia 4.54% down, under the 200s. Microsoft 5.33% down. Meta 9.64% down. Google, the winner today, 4.73% up. Amazon 1.60% down. Apple 1/3% up. Apple with earnings tonight. Can I give you an opinion on the 20 SMA? Should I ditch it? Well, I use the 20 SMA, but I use it on a daily chart. It's very important on a daily chart. It's a great mean reversion level. I couldn't tell you on a lower time frame chart because I don't use it. So only you would know that. You would have to backtest it. But it's probably quite good. I normally use it. If I was going to use something, I'd use 21 rather than 20. If you're asking why, because it's a fib number. All right, we like using fibs where possible. But you can use something simple, 20, 50, and 200 SMA on a lower time frame chart, I guess. It would give you an idea of momentum. All right, back down to previous day value area low here. I'm just wondering if that test was enough here. They just tested point of control. If they break under all of this, if they're going to rotate or not. That's what I'm like wondering at the moment. ES is not in alignment. We still have compression here, but that last move swept the stops. So if you think about this, we now swept them in this low volume node. This might be the chance now for them to break. And I might have missed that opportunity here while I was teaching. That might have been it. Might well have been it. What's the time? We have time. We'll see. Oh, wiggle down here again at previous day value area low. That's interesting. My value area lows are very, very different. Let me just double check this. Yeah, this for me on NinjaTrader, I don't know if anyone else has the same, is up here. It's right here. So we've actually rotated value from yesterday. So the tick value on NinjaTrader is slightly different. So we've actually rotated it. So we're inside of this. So if we break, we can make this simple. If we break outside of this, we can look for that. If we break and reclaim, that'll be the set to go back upside. If we stay in here, I'm going to probably ignore it because the chance was up here. That was the chance. That was your edge, right? Value area high. If you're a range trader, you trade down to that. If they bid this, they trade up. So we want to trade expansion, trap, expansion, trap, which we've probably already done because we swept these. I don't want to trade this. No, that's the leave alone zone. I asked you that a couple of minutes ago. He asked me what? Sorry, I didn't see it. I tried, guys. I'm trying. You'll remember I'm trying to look at 4 monitors plus a separate monitor for you guys on. Thoughts on ICT? I'm like, on him or on his teaching. Some of his teachings are good. Some of them are bullshit. There you go. Some of his stuff's really good. None of his stuff he owns. It's all regurgitated. But you know, if you learn from him, great. Yes, I draw all my levels myself. Everything you see on the screen, other than a previous day, high, low, and closes, everything else is drawn on myself. If it was up to me now, I probably wouldn't use these, but I think they're really helpful for newer traders. Nice, Kenneth. Thanks for joining. Hi, Alex. I think I'm going to join your program. What is everything you offer and the steps needed to go about that? Everything's on the website, mate. It's the link is above. If you're going to do the 20-hour course, okay, it's, I don't know how many modules, over 20 modules. It's on demand. I take you from absolute basics. I treat you as if you know nothing, right? And we build all the blocks up the right way so that you understand structure, volume, how the market moves, what the different products are, where traps are set, weekly models, everything that I look at, rotations, initial balance, opening ranges, like EMAs, SMAs, higher time frame analysis, multi-time frame analysis, pro trend, counter trend, mean reversion. We go through all of those things, the indicators, and then in that you get a free set of flow zones like this, slightly simplified version of these. Okay, and then if you want to, you can add on the volume and order flow course, which is an extra 6-hour course, which is where I teach you how to read order flow, footprint, bookmap, looking at absorption, looking at trend, etc., looking at volume, delta divergence, CVD, etc. Everything's in there. With the 20-hour course, you also get Discord included. That's everything. But make sure, like I always say, make sure you do as much for free first. There's lots of stuff on my channel for free. Don't go spending money if you don't like how I trade or how I teach. Okay? Like I talk about this all the time. Pedagogy is important. All right, how I teach will work for some people. It might not work for other people. Just in terms of how you absorb it. So I'm just watching the book here as we wiggle up. Well, we've all been to a school or a college or a class where the teacher might be really knowledgeable, but we just don't vibe with them, right? Maybe their voice is annoying. Maybe the way of explanation doesn't like, we don't absorb it. All right, that is different forms of pedagogy, forms of teaching work for different people. Some people are visual learners. I'm definitely a visual learner. I definitely like to tell stories. Other people aren't. They're more analytical. They look at things differently. So that's why I say go through everything on YouTube first. Don't go spending money until you're like, okay, this guy I vibe with. Coffee time, yes, it would be. Have I got any left? I've got one sip left. It will be a re-coffee time very soon. Okay, so failing to break down. So value area low holding again. So here's the rotation of yesterday again. Right, so you can see since we've gone in here, what have we done? Right, that's what we've done. What did we do yesterday or overnight in here? What did we do yesterday in here? Right, So when you hear people say look left, this is what they're telling you to look at. If this is what the market does in here, it's probably what it's going to do again in there, right? The market likes to repeat itself. This is our chop zone. I think I might have drawn this pre-market. I can't remember. Let's have a look. Okay. So today we were looking at the first thing I was looking for, move down to buy, move down to buy. If we move down too far, we're going to do what? We're going to go chop zone. There you go. That's me, chop zone. And under it, we see weakness. Okay. Again, I talk about this every day, having a plan, sticking to the plan. So relief starting to build out now. And we're back to the top side, previous day value area high. Now remember, or was it this level or was it higher with the 50s and 60s? Oh, it's all the way up here, 360. So they can try and extend this now, 300, 305s, 350. So any of you who have been dip buying, if you're a value trader, any of you have been buying the edges, remember edge, you want to pay yourself here, and ideally you get an extension, all right, and then you take it off. Now, if they hold the pullback in, then we can think about the rotation back up. It's going to be very hard today because the main trend at the moment is down, but we are holding previous day's value area low. So you want to be paying yourself right here. If you are a range trader, here is yesterday's range. You better be paying yourself into this. I'd say 70, 80%. And then you can just see if you get one of these. Who took that long with you? Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. I mean, I talk about this all the time. There's many ways to trade. Alex is very honest. He doesn't like trading ranges, right? I love... How often do you see me? You see me, yeah, I'm short here, tailoring a breakdown. I can see it really quick on a tape. I can see ranges. I just can't do it. I don't know why. It's a mental block. It's like trying to use my left foot to take a penalty. I just... No. I'm going to FUD it. You can't find my free course. If you go on my website, a link will pop up straight away. It will pop up straight away and offer you a free course. You just fill it in. It's also on my YouTube. It's there somewhere. There you go. There's a prime example of me like teaching, giving you an analogy of taking a penalty with the left foot. That's a prime example. That's how I teach. I try and like paint a picture. I think the markets are easier to understand once you paint a picture and you make common sense of it. Otherwise, they just look like numbers, don't they? Did I watch Arsenal yesterday? I did. It's tough. It's tough to watch, mate. All of it's tough. I thought the Peno against us was tough. That wouldn't be given in the Premier League. Yes, it was handball. It was hit directly at him. His hand was down and it came off his foot or his leg onto it, which would never be a handball in the Premier League. Bullshit. I thought the Peno they gave for us was tough on them, but once they gave it, the second one I mean, they shouldn't have overturned it because there was contact in the box. If he didn't give it, I wouldn't have cared, but he gave it. You can't overturn that. There was contact. And when you see the replays of them harassing the ref, but we'll see, like, if you offered me 1-1 away in a hostile ground with a shit pitch, I would have taken it. I fancy us to do them at the Emirates, so I'll take a scrape through at the Emirates, and then in the final we go. I like the stream before Alex gets upset. Yeah, you're making me talk about my team. We're going to throw everything away. Right, ES getting going to that top side again, that 85 level. All right, and I'd say a break of 85 on ES, a break and hold of 85. It will come and visit previous day high at 90. If it gets through that, 7-2s. All right, so here's your top side move at the moment. Like I said, you want to be paying yourself here, previous day value area high. You know this is sensitive, and ideally your runners get going. For those of you who are long down here, right, I'm going to need to do a bathroom break here and a refill on the coffee. I'm going to check how we're doing for the likes here before I go. Hopefully you've been generous here this morning. I feel like I've been generous with my time. Hopefully you've been generous with me. No, you haven't. All right. When I come back, I'd like to see this at least 1,000 likes. Okay. And then we can do a giveaway. You know what I'd be looking for? Like I said, you range traders who are long, You've had your move. You're holding runners now. You're probably going to see relief like we talked about. This is why we don't trade short down here. We can trade short under here if they break. They didn't. There's a failure to break. You're seeing relief now. You want to be paying yourself here, 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 and here. Do not expect too much on the long, all right? Big downside pressure. Do not expect too much on the long back upside. I'll be right back. All right, there's your relief. Nice. Beautiful relief. All right, make sure you're paying yourself here, folks. We can think about it's probably spikes, and then you probably get relief back downside soon. You can think about from the open. You're 50%. You've got a bit more for 60. I'd start paying myself if I was you. If you've been long in this, I would really think about starting to pay myself and lock in some big money here. You've left imbalances below. Can it drift higher? Yes, absolutely. But like, this is the relief that it would be looking for. Can we not make this a 6-minute chart, please? What are we doing here? There we go. Right, so do not be looking for too much. Maybe they come and reprice up here, but make sure you've paid yourself. You've starting to see some sellers up here. We have a little imbalance above that we've just poked into, and obviously we've got VWAP up here. Okay, and if we get going, yes, we've got lots of like singles up here that we can come through because that was very quick this morning. But definitely be paying yourself here. Why is Asia easier? Probably if you're finding Asia easier, even though the range was big, it moves slower. All right, it moves slower. So you have a little bit longer to react to each level, I would say. Could you enter long now? No. Your long entry was either a range or a hold of the top of the range here. And we're coming for relief now. I think you're too late in this. You do not want to enter up here now. Here's your VWAPs. There's your close. Maybe they come into this node. I would not be entering long here. Really wouldn't. You're asking too much of it in my mind if you're going to try and long up here. Here's VWAP. ES is really getting going. I think you'll probably see some sellers come back in at some point soon. But we'll see. Where would I consider a short? Well, we'd have to see the momentum shift, right? So we'd ideally, they take out some level here and this. And then we'd have to respect these on the way back down, right? So if we do something here, we're going to have to respect this block on the way back down. It's not like earlier. We can't expect this now. We have to respect this because think about how much volume we've now built out in here. So you're short now. It might well hold this, right? Maybe we go back into this. Maybe they hold it and come all the way back up. But we are seeing buy side of the curve. Remember earlier we talked about maybe you want to do Lance's V, maybe you want to do buy side of the curve. This is buy side of the curve, so we don't want to short buy side of the curve. The short was here. We base out, we see relief, and we need to see sell side of the curve, which ideally would be something like this. And we'd be covering some here and then holding. You never know. You never know, folks. Who knows how far they get going. Mag doing a lot of rotation here this morning by the looks of it. How are we doing for the likes here, folks? Still not there. Pretty please, folks. Get the likes going for me. I would appreciate it. What symbol are you on? Because NQM is different. Well, NQM is a micro contract. I'm trading the minis, or at least we're watching volume on the minis. If you're seeing something that's different, you are probably lagging behind. You'll be needing to pay for data. If you're watching TradingView, you would need data to be live. So you can either pay for that data via CME and TradingView, or you can pay for a prop firm and have it linked. It's totally up to you. But that's probably why. All right, into the lower time frame algo. Like I said, there's some imbalances up here, and we can remember we're single prints above this. Plenty of single prints above this. So I think there's probably failures coming soon for that mean reversion back down. We just see how high they push this. The higher the better, actually. If we're going to think about the short, for those who haven't taken the long here or here, right? The higher the better. So we'll watch all these blocks. We see if they get frothy up here where we broke down from. ES coming right the way back up. Again, the one we'd want to be short on today would be NQ. It has relative weakness. Just checking the news here to see if there's anything popped through. US military told 44 vessels to turn back from Strait of Hormuz, up from 42 yesterday. Okay, so still no one's getting through. We're gonna blockade their blockade. I'm gonna Trump your Trump. I love it. I love it. You gotta laugh. I tell you what, those of you at English, I was really impressed with King Charles. Made me proud to be English for a minute. I thought he did some great speeches. I loved his comment on France. I thought that was amazing.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, I heard you say the other day that it wasn't for you, we'd all speak German. Well, I put it to you, if it wasn't for us, you'd speak French.
So good. Watching the news now is actually like watching Spitting Image in real time. It's crazy. It's actually a full-time comedy show. Even the English news is exactly the same. It's full-time. Oh, make some jokes. Did anyone see the ear comment yesterday with the NASA guy? I was like, you going to get away with that? Well, the best guy to talk about the UAPs and UFOs is this guy over here. He hears really good. Have you seen those ears? What? What did we just say? Oh, it's good. How can he make that comment to him and not say it to the king? I think King Charles has got the biggest ears I've ever seen. All right, into this gamma level. We're into these thin zones right now. So remember, we dropped very fast from here. This is very thin. All right, these levels matter. I would imagine we're going to get stuck somewhere around here unless we're going to do full recovery, which I find it hard to believe, but we'll see. Oh, I'm crying. I'm actually crying. It just makes me laugh. It must be tempting though. Like if Trump's got humor, if he's if he's looking at Charles the whole time and he's like, God, those ears are big. Those ears are big. And he didn't say it, but he said it to the poor bloke from NASA who just took it on the chin. He just took it on the chin. Oh, God. Yeah, you got to laugh. I'm actually crying. I'm laughing that high. The squeeze continues. This is quite a big turnaround here. Great effort. Those of you who are long from here, wow, you are having a lot of fun. All the reload from here. I think we'll probably peak out soon. Here's the 400 test. And you got previous day high above this and then previous week close above it. ES is coming right up to its open. So it's a big rotation here. Big rotation. A lot of these finding bids. VIX really breaking down. Sub that 1750s now, which is sort of churned around for 15, 20 minutes. Held this morning and then churned under it. Might come down to 17s now and can keep getting relief. So previous day high coming up. I am actually quite surprised they're giving this much relief this quickly, but it's really good for those of you who are long. And hopefully I kept you out of this noise down here and the break back up. And the H1 continues, eh? So the H1 level will be this next grey box, right? That will be the transition level as we come into this grey box. What am I talking about, you're saying? What is he on about? Okay, here's the H1 transition. There's the dive. There's the move back in. All right, this level here will matter, sort of 420-ish will matter. H1's done exactly the same. Chop, 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 chop. Breakout, pull back. Breakout, pull back. Chop for a bit. Back into this. And there's that 400 attempts. So previous day high right now is at 415 or 414. Previous week close is at 434. It's also the H1 block. So we're starting to see some sellers come back in around this area at the moment. And we'll see now a failed start. There's a bit of a rejection underneath New York Open so far for ES. We'd like one more perk up and squeeze, and then we can think about a backside if they're going to give it. Long above 420? No, that's certainly not. Your long opportunity, right, will be a pullback in that holds this now. All right. Or I'd say above all of this. I wouldn't say get long in here. This is probably where you're going to see the rejection. In fact, I'm going to start following this tightly now in case it offers me something. So sellers just came in there at 80s. Seeing ES reject in front of that New York Open. There's probably a move down to VWAP coming here soon if they can't get up to previous day high. But be careful thinking about the short after all morning, but we'll see what sets up here. I think it needs one more leg up would be good. Like not a leg, but a squeeze up would be good. And then we can come and reprice a little bit. Am I shorting here? No, I'm interested if we start to lose the bid. What I would like to see is this, right? Somewhere up there would be ideal. But we're rejecting this gamma level at the moment. This VWAP, so we've got to be careful over this node and VWAP. So I'd like to see this and then them get stuck up there. That would be more ideal. Yes, at previous day high. So this level matters. It's between New York Open and previous day high. It rejected in front of New York Open. It's right at previous day high. VIX is starting to find a little bit of a bid at 1750s again. Isn't it wild to see this market having like bled out this morning, find a bid back, and then you look at VIX and it's 7.18% down. That thing you got to imagine is going to find a bid next week. Am I thinking of buying the retest? The first thing I'm thinking of is trying to find a short here to here, and then I will consider what we look like when we come down into this, right? Because if we fail this, this can happen later, right? So the first thing I'm waiting to see if we can get some form of failure up here, and then I'll see how we act down here, right? If I see passive buyers stepping in here and sellers getting too aggressive, unable to move lower, then I'll think about the bid back up. But if I can get a short position here down to it, I'll try and hold a runner in case, right, this is a squeeze out, and in case we do this later in the day. Might be asking a lot, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Here's the move back to view up. It's unfortunate we haven't poked higher yet. Don't want to chase price here, but I don't want to miss out either. Oh, you fucker. You fucker. Right, they're absorbing VWAP for now. Patient, 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 patient. You can see this VWAP in this node matters. If they lose this, we probably go 320s. Just how to get involved now. You're short. I need some coffee. I just got my coffee. I'm waiting at the moment. If it sets up, I'll take it. Ideally, we set up higher. But if we start letting go, it will force me to take it. Tapping back into VWAP here. There's lots of bids here down to 315s. There you go. There's the bids. That feels very newsy there, doesn't it? And they just failed there again to reclaim higher. They're failing in front of 390s here. You can see this node matters. This node here and VWAP, it matters right now. See, we just aggressively bid off that. This matters. This is your over-under at the moment for continuation. Right, I'd much rather see us poke up here and get a failure up here. What am I using for tape reading? Bookmap above me. I see the same questions every day. What volume am I using? Anchored volume profile to the 930 open. Okay. Ideally, we get going here. They might see failed follow through here. Ideally, we get going here. Not because I'm long. I want to see if we like really trap lots of bulls up higher. Still no position. Waiting. Again, the easy money for me was made this morning. Maybe I should have, maybe I should have bid the bottom of the range. I probably should have taken the momentum. Maybe I should have. We talked about this. Alex doesn't trade range well. This was probably a better risk for me. That was a good momentum play back upside. I don't know if I would have captured this whole move, if I'm honest. I probably would have got to here. I don't think I would be holding for this, knowing me. Watching to see if they can get up to sort of 420s and above, maybe even 470s if they want to really turn it on. Google really going here. All right, 7.15% up. Can have a little peek at all the mag. Apple basing out well. Amazon basing out near lower day. Google on an absolute tear coming up to its high of day. So its initial balance high, and then above that it would go pre-market highs. Meta failing under VWAP, pulling back in. Microsoft failing at VWAP. Nvidia trying to get back to its VWAP. Tesla, high of day, holding its 5-day and a previous day high. So complete mixed bag. They're not running all together, which is not surprising given that they all had very different earnings reports. I'm waiting to see how we act up here. Is what I'm waiting for at the moment. Would have, could have. Yeah, I mean, that's it. It is what it is. I don't feel bad. I've got my easy money, and I'm just gonna wait. I will be looking for a short up here if it sets up. There's your poke to previous day high. I didn't quite make it. New York still not quite tapped. New York open yet. quite tapped on ES. That's 7,200 level on ES. You're kind of looking for 715s on the spiders. That's your gamma. On QQQ, you're sort of, if we're coming to the same level, looking for 665, and we'll be looking for 740s if they're going to put in right away up here. We'll see. Hands off for now. Like I said, I wanted one more move up, which we're starting to see, which is good. How long we got to lunch? We've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time. Advice for someone that goes break even too early. Well, stick to your plan. You probably need a plan before you trade, right? So you need to know where you're entering, where you're exiting, where your stop is. You only want to move break even once that trade's like confirmed in your favor and has no reason to come back to a level. So, for example, let's say we saw this and then this and this and this, and we entered like here, right? Once we're down here, I can go break even because it's got no reason to come back up there. If it comes back up there, I'm completely wrong. It means it's trapped and gone. Big range today, same as overnight. Look at this range. Huge range. Right, we tap previous day high, that red line, horizontal line here. And that's value area high from the current week. There's a big level here. This is a big level here. Previous day high, value area high from the current week. And sellers are defending this. So I'm starting to perk my interest up here. If we trap enough bulls here, momentum shifts, I'm interested. We haven't quite made 715 on SPY, and we haven't quite made 7,200 on ES. But this is definitely starting to perk my interest, how we're starting to rotate around. Bids here at 85. They're still trying to sell 25s. So I'm right in the levels that I'm looking at, that grey box kind of area. It's the right level that I'm looking at. We'll just see if there's a way of getting involved. They're still trying to bid 85 here. They're starting to let go. Here come the sellers. Oh, how am I going to get involved in this? How am I going to get involved in this? Into this little imbalance here at 70s, 75s. Good excess up here. Buyer's definitely caught up there. It just hasn't got a return back in, so we can limit the risk on it. And does it want to get to that next gamma level? So only thing in my head. Structurally still bullish here, but we've left excess at that high for the first time. And that excess is at previous day's high. So that's a big level. So there's an imbalance here at 92s, and there's a buy side imbalance below at 72. So there's a 20-point rotation here. I'll see how we act at 92s and at 400s. And if I see buyers get absorbed, then I'm going to get short. Oh, they're starting to sell in front of them. You fuckers. You fuckers. I want to be involved in this if you're going to do it. Come on, let me see how you act at 92s and 400s here. 92s. Are you going to lift the 400s? Come the 4s. They're still adding liquidity higher at the moment. 25s and 45s still up there. Question is this the start of failed follow through here, or are they going to go for the next gamma? We're dancing around these 92s. This is a little imbalance. Buyer price that he's stuck at is 410s. Above 410s, they break and they go for previous week close and the next level up. Previous week close and the next level up. So still grindy here. Still nothing yet. Very tempted to put something on here, but not yet. I'm waiting. Because they're adding, all these sellers above, they're adding 425s, 440, 445, 450. They're just adding like they've done the last few days. They're just adding just like they've done the last few days. 4 hour looks strong. Well, 1 hour looks like it's in range, and I will play the failure if, like I said, only if it comes. But the 1 hour is filling in the 1 hour imbalance, and we're coming right up to value area high from the current week. If we start basing above that, that's a different conversation. Right? If we base above all this, that's a different conversation. Again, I'm not going to force my way in. It's either going to set up for me and give me that pullback down to here, or it's not. Just zoom out here so I can see these players above. Yeah, they're stacked. Sellers coming in here again. A little imbalance here again into 90. Same level, right? And sort of 90. It's actually 88 to 85 is the imbalance. Still leaving that buyer trapped right now at 10s. He's still stuck at the moment. And there's still tons of liquidity above if they can get one more lift. Just check around here. Goog. Yeah, Goog breaking out. So it's going for pre-market highs here. That's all-time highs, right? So it's price discovery on Goog. So Goog lifting it. Meta looks awful. Microsoft doesn't look very good. Amazon looks awful. Nvidia doesn't look great either. Tesla looks great. So Tesla and Goog looking good. Apple trying to get going, but doesn't look too good either. So it really depends if Goog does a failed breakout here, I'd say. It's right into its pre-market high. And above that, it can probably run 80s. If it holds above 75s, it goes to 80s for the day. And that would be what's lifting this market higher right now. It's a big move on Goog. It's basically a $10 move. But if it fails up here and turns back to 70s, market probably fails with it. How do I know where the liquidity is? Because I can see it on the level 2. It's sat there. They're literally advertising price right now. 410, 425, 440, 445, 450. Passive sellers up there. Trying to lift the market up. They're trying to say, hey, come and get me up here. That's what they're doing at the moment. Flow zone's holding well. Yeah, holding very well right now. The dips are holding well. I just wouldn't be a buyer up here. I'm going to wait to see if there's failures. I'm willing to be a buyer down here if we come back down and hold. Not up here. Remember, this is premium for the current week. This blue line, premium for the current week. Down here, discount for the current week. Discount from yesterday, fair value, premium. Above premium from yesterday, above premium from the current week. Or into premium of the current week. All right, just let me focus here for a moment, folks, because I don't want to miss the trade if it comes. Still holding imbalances here. Buyers still like trying to absorb this take to move higher. If they let go, though, it's going to be quick. Google's failing. Google, did it take pre-market? No, just missed it. I'd like Google to take pre-market and then fail, ideally, but it's coming back inside. So hopefully Google can find one more bid, take the pre-market high, and then fail. Still all this liquidity above. 10s, 20s, 25s, 35s, a little bit of 40, 45s and 50s. Still all on the book. They're still looking to get filled up there. I'm not going to keep going over stuff, guys. Please. Please. I'm going to say that every session matters. Okay? Every session matters. Previous week matters. Previous month matters. Current week matters. Previous day matters. They all matter. Okay? So if a session matters, I mark it. If there's confluence of sessions, I mark it. There's no rule of like, oh, we only mark out one session. No. Right? Price and volume matters. It doesn't matter if it's a year ago, if it's a big level that's untested. Come on. And like you said, I know you've already said it. So you're asking the same question I've already said, right? I've already given you the answer. What do I mark out? Every session that matters. That's the best way I can explain it. Anything that matters, I mark out. All right, here we go. Let's watch this now, see if they can lift it one more time. Goog holding its IB high-ish. Maybe Goog can get that little 5-minute break and fail, ideally. Be more kind as a teacher. Really? Really? Yes, it's not like I'm here for free teaching the same stuff and you guys are asking, even saying the same question that I've already answered. You want more kind. How about you be more attentive as a student? More generous as a student? How about that? Really watching Goog here. Building out a little base here. You can see this node here is starting to matter a lot as well. If we fail this, we'll come down to this. Under this, we can really wash. Goog matters here. Goog's starting to let go, like I talked about. So I'm watching the same stuff as earlier. Ideally, we come up to those 420s first before we do anything else. But if we start to fail versus this grey box, it will leave me no choice but to get involved. So we are starting to see failures versus 95s at the moment. And I'd say 70s matter. So if Pop starts to fail here, Goog's starting to fail here. If Pop starts to fail and Goog can't hold this 5-minute bar, I'm interested in the sell. It's not the ideal location. I'd like higher, but I'm watching here. They're trying to bid 75s at the moment. So I'm watching to see if 95s fail. If 95s fail, not beforehand, if they poke up and start failing. All right, I've put a little piece on that poke. And what should I risk here? I'll risk the 400s. They might very well take it. I'm small size on this poke up to this imbalance. If they go through 400s, then I'd imagine they're going to go 425. So we'll see. And I'll see if we can break down under the 70s, come back down into the 50s. And if we let go of 50s, then we've got lots of imbalances to fill all the way back down, down here. This 75 matters here. Still holding it. Google letting go. Are we going to rotate with Goog? Are we going to rotate under 75s and 80s with Goog and come down to 55s? Oh, here come the sellers at 90s. If they can't hold this, then we're going to squeeze back up, I think. Again, my out is at 400, like I said. Giving it about 20 points, basically. Not even that much. 15 points. Lots of liquidity here. Goog trying to hold a bid at 72s. Might hold this bid here. If we hold this bid here, I might cut it early. 92s. Might cut this early if we hold the bid. All right, cutting now. Goog holding that pullback. So I'm out already. I'm out early because I can see what's going on elsewhere. If Goog fails on this bid up to 73.50, I'll think about a re-entry. But the fact that Google didn't sweep the high and then has held the bid has got me out of this early. So I managed to save myself probably 5 points there. Great hold from Goog. Really good from Goog. So they're going to try and take the pre-market highs from Goog. So 75 break will cause a squeeze on Goog up to 80. And that, why I'm watching that is that's the market leader and it's dragging this market up. If and when that fails, this market will probably go down with it. It's up 7.5% or 7.58% today. It's dragging the market up with it. Alex stopped out. Now we go. I mean, what, for the short? I wouldn't be trying to get short here at the moment. There's a reason I stopped. Can always get back in, remember. They're going to lift. All these sellers, though, have left the tape above. Feels close. Goog rejecting IB. It feels close here. I will get in again for the same move if we leave. Goog rejecting initial balance. VIX trading at day lows, though. Feels close, but it's not ready. Maybe previous week close is needed. That next grey box above. No one gave me shit. It's just people like asking the same question that I'm answering a million times. And then they're like, I need to be a better teacher, or I need to show more kindness. Or I need to. I'm here for free. I teach you guys for free. I've given you hundreds of points today. I've told you where to execute. I've told you where to do that. If you are just showing up, asking the same question over and over again, do you not think it gets exhausted for me? Sorry, are you paying me to be here to teach you? No. Do you not think it gets exhausting for me to answer the same thing over and over and over again? It's like banging my head on a brick wall. And then you guys have the audacity to be like, oh, that I need to do this. I need to do. How about you do it? How about you do it? It's like the Gen Z thing of I graduated from college. I want $1 million wage. Give it to me now because I'm really important. Like, the world doesn't care. Like, you have to put the work in. If you don't think I'm generous enough, that's okay. You can go and watch PW or someone else. See how much generosity you get there and how much you learn. Let's see how much you actually learn. Man is triggered. Well, it's not untriggered. It just... What do you want me to say? Here, please come here every day and say the same thing every day, and don't go through any of my free videos on YouTube, and don't read any of the description down below, and don't read anything that Nightbot's telling you of like what this is, what my boxes are, what they're drawn. How about you just ask me the same stuff every day? Like, what do you want me to do? Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. Thanks so much. All right, Goog still rejecting initial balance. It's trying to break down, but it's not doing it. And this just feels like it's got one more little poke in it higher at the moment into this grey box. It's impressive. And ES coming up to the New York Open, which will be day highs in the New York session because we failed from there this morning. There's the poke into the box. So previous day high, previous week closes above at 435. This is the box I was originally interested in getting short into if we see failures. What we're going to have to be very careful of now is how we've built out this shelf. They built support structure. It would have been much better if we'd done one straight move into it and failed. And it's possible they come right to this gamma level. If there's a reason that they need to get right up to this, they will. Remember, this is where we failed from this morning. We'll see. I'm still watching the same levels. They're still adding liquidity above. 25, 35, 40, 45. Goog's still doing the dance. So it's done pullback for the last 15 minutes on Goog, but it's still holding. If they start failing here on Goog underneath, that might be the cue. Still they're adding liquidity above. Still not, they're not coming down. They're adding liquidity above like this for them to drive into. Right, big buyers now coming in to try and fill all this liquidity above. So like I said, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 is on deck, but they're small. 107 lot. Just forced their way. That was a short stop getting popped there. Goog's still holding that pullback, still hasn't taken out pre-market highs. This thing still wants more. They've got shorts caught at the moment, I think, trying to play these levels. It will give up if and when it's exhausted and not beforehand. Right, here's the 25. VIX still lower day. ES still at that New York Open. It's probably got a spike over this New York Open and take everyone out. I imagine there's a nasty swipe coming very, very shortly here. And then once that's done, we can see what if and what's what. But I'm not going to force my way short if they're not going to fail. Might want to come right up here. Goog setting up for a new break, I think, after holding for the last 15, 20 minutes. There's the poke above on ES. They're still adding liquidity higher. More sellers coming in here. So that's previous week close tagged. Previous week high is still up at 62s. Goog's still not breaking out. VIX still low of days. Still got more juice in it. There's still more sellers up here adding. And we can't take fails now until we move underneath this because of the way we've done it. If we'd poked straight in, all right, we could look for this. Now we have to respect this structure. So we can't take fails unless that happens now because we've moved value up and we've created a shelf for them to protect. So they might well do this at the moment. We'll see. If we move under this shelf, I'm interested. This is the box I was originally interested in, but we'd have to move under this shelf. If I could get something on early, if I see it, I will. But at the moment, not seeing it. Here's the retest of value area high. So we're failing previous week close. We can still hold this value area high right now. It's a big level. It's also value area high from the current week. Now, if we fail under this shelf, I'm interested and not before. Again, sellers not walking down. They're just sat there. 40s, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Story of the tape for the last week. Google failing IB there. Timing this is going to be hard. How are we doing for lunch? We've got 30 minutes. I think we will get a trade here. Still these sellers adding higher. First sign of them walking down here into 25s. There's that buyer call. 24s. Not convinced it's done still. 24, 25 will be the level if it is. Lots of bid support coming here at 10s. 10s to 400 to 95. If we pop and fail 25s, I'll think about a very small starter, but it's very risky. But it would need to trap because it's already trapped a little bit at the highs. If we break under the grey box, I'm much more interested. There's a seller. Okay, they're starting to walk down from 20s and 25s now. There they come. Waiting to see if they turn up today. All right, let's see then if we come underneath these 90s. Nice rejection there. So we've got, if we trade under 90s, I think we get this move down to 60s and then maybe into these imbalances right down into here. So what I'm interested in at the moment is this failure to here and this offering the trade to here and there. This is where I'm looking to enter, down here if possible. Here we go. So I've drawn it out for you, know what I'm looking for. Here we go, into the 90s. This becomes important here. Goog, just let go and make it easy for me, mate, because I want to size into this if I'm right. I know someone's just paid something for me to read it out. I promise you I'll read it as soon as I'm done with this. Just let me just focus for a moment, because this is a big level here. Goog's still holding. I think the flush is coming here. Goog pops and fails, the flush is coming here. Looking to see if I can get involved in this here. They're chasing down the sellers now at 400 and 410s. Right, and piece on here. Small size, watching 400s. And I'll add if we pop 400, fail 400, break 90s, I'll add heavy. But I've got a small piece on in case it just runs away like a train. Oh, Goog holding up. Goog, you bastard, you're going the wrong way. Come on, flush it for me down. Come on. Come on. Here come the buyers. We need 400 to stay heavy here. Ideally 90 stay heavy, but 400 stay heavy would be really good. Come on. Here we go. He needs to be a nicer teacher. Let's see if we can stay heavy now on pops. Google, you need to fuck off. You're going to make my life really hard over there. Really hard, Google. All right, I will not let this come above 400, which is VPOC now for the session. And I'll add if we reject and stay heavy. Because this can be a sweep and go. And they're still adding liquidity higher. Okay, come on, reject 400 and come back down. Nice. All right, get out of my way, 75 buyer. Get out my way, 75 buyer. They're still absorbing down here. Be very careful. Around 80 and 75, there's someone trying to hold the bid. The sellers are at 400. If we break 400, it will lift quickly. What we want to do is break 75 and 80 and force this guy who's been absorbing the tape to get out of the way. Google breaking down now. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. So I'm looking for 50s, and then I'm looking for 25s, and then ideally I'm looking for 92s, which will be a 100-point trade from a really horrible teacher who doesn't teach you anything or tell you what to look for. Here we come. Trying not to pay myself too early here. Here we come, here we come, here we come, here we come, here we come. If you want to pay yourself early here, you can pay yourself a little bit. I'm trying to hold on for a break. I'm really trying to hold on for the breakdown. Here we go. Here we go. All right, 60s. Can we go 50s and below and then rotate under this next grey box? So you can pay yourself a little bit here into the top of this grey box. If we rotate under this grey box, right, we're going to go box to box, which is what I'm looking for, down into here. Right, so we've trapped volume here. We had good excess at the high. Remember I said 25 is probably the level. Right, we want to just see this now. I drew it out for you, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes ago. Again, sticking to my plan. Google coming back in. Okay, ideally, we reject 80 here. 80 to 85, ideally. I don't really want this to come back up to the 400s. Nice. Nice. Slam it here, folks. Slam it here. Come on, slam it. Slam it here. You've done the hard work now. Get this fucking trap out of the way. Slam it. Let's go. Let's go. Please. Stop fucking around. Just give me a runner for 100 points today. Please. Pretty please. Come on, baby. Get under this little micro shelf. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Here we go. Get under this guy. Yes, come on. Sellers walking down now. 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. So they're trying to force this down now. We're trying to get this break below. We're coming right into the top of the grey box. Remember, this is your first cover point. This grey box. Under this grey box, we can think about this level. Ooh, don't move it. We can think about this. Under this grey box, we get the next cover point. But we might go box to box for a while. Hopefully, we just fail. Here comes VWAP. So paying yourself a little piece here. We can go box to box up here if they want. If they want to hold this and create a lower high in here, they can. If this is an undercut and they reclaim this, you are done with it, all right? But just be aware they can do this little dance for a bit. Ideally, we just fail straight down. With what Google's doing, it'd be very, very nice. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm sorry I'm not very nice, guys. Those who don't like me, I apologize. Making you money is not good enough. I'm sorry. Okay, box to box is possible. Be careful. Both sides, box to box is possible. Do not short into this lower grey box, right? The short was from here. Do you remember we said that looked like, what did I say, 90s? This was it. This shelf, this was the short. If they hold this, they'll retest this. Okay, this might offer another short here. If they reclaim this, no shorts, be done with it. All right, so the short is in here at 90s. The cover point is in here. The next short would be a breakdown underneath for this move. Yeah, that's why I'm saying pay yourself box to box. We take the easy money on days like this. The green dotted line is not a moving average, buddy. It's your 24-hour VWAP. It's your daily VWAP. Still looking good. Still looking good. Still looking good. Can we break down further? With so many imbalances lower, right? Imbalances start from 14s down to 94s. That's where I'd like to trade down into, if possible. Down into here, 14s to 94s. 14s, yeah, here. Anywhere down in here would be nice. Anywhere, any covers down here would be really good if we can do this. In fact, while it sorts that out, up $441. Nice, man. I'm not giving it back today. Great work. Great work. Let's see. How are we doing on the likes? We're up to 1,000 likes. Fantastic. Fantastic. We will do a giveaway as well shortly. Okay, here we go, folks. Let's see if they can stay heavy here. Big selling coming in. We got to watch Google as it's coming into its pivot of 370s as well, so it might find a bit of a bid there. All right, I'm going to move my stop into the money. I'm going to set my TPs, and I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to be right back, and then we'll do a giveaway when I'm back. We'll set it when I'm back. All right, let's see if we can get this runner to go. A lot is on this right now. All right, a lot is on this right now. All right, it's taken the New York high. It would have been better if it had taken this. We're coming right down into this pivot here where I expect it to find a bit of a bid. So Google, if Google finds a bid, it's not going to help us. So hopefully it doesn't find a bid. This is why we're paying ourselves on the way down, and hopefully we can break down here. Remember, we're thin up. This is a big drive up. We haven't retested really where we broke out from. All right, there's the drive. What we don't want is an undercut and a reclaim. We want this to stay heavy down into here. And then if we lose this, right, we see downside pressure for the day. It'd be really nice. Here we go. Here we go. How does he do it? I don't know. Magic. Absolute magic. Where are we expecting? Well, we're covering ideally into here, mate. Ideally into here. We're seeing a little bit of absorption here. There is an imbalance at sort of 35. So like you should have paid yourself some here. If you want to pay yourself early into this, you can. What we don't want is what I just talked about. What we don't want is an undercut of this and a reclaim. All right. So we want this gray box now to protect. Remember, we're short from here. We want this gray box to protect this volume, leaving buyers trapped for weakness. Okay. Here we come. And to give you an example of why I get frustrated, it's because I explain this every day on stream and try and help. And when some of you say I don't do enough, or those that email me giving me really nasty death threats and stuff, it gets boring, all right? It gets boring to deal with when I feel like I'm generous here to try and help you guys. Not all of you, most of you are really, really nice. And I don't even mind people asking questions, but all I'd ask you to do is to try and read some of the stuff or listen to what I say. Okay, Google getting very close to that 370s. Normally, I wouldn't focus on one stock so much. All it is right now is that Google's been up 7-8% on the day. It's pulling back 50% of its range. If it starts to hold that 50% of its range, which is an RBS zone and a gamma level and its lower time frame algo and its VWAP, if it starts to hold that range, market might slow down. Here we come. So we're looking for covers in and around this grey box as we come into it. And then ideally underneath this, so we're into that first imbalance I just talked about, around the 34s to 32s. If we lose this imbalance here, there was a seller stuck earlier at 28. If we get underneath 28s, I think we can rotate all the way back down to the low 300s, all the way down to the 80s and 90s. All right, so here's your next TP. So we've hit 2 TPs now from 90s. Remember the 90s break. Looking for this break. Oh, God, can I do it? We drew this out for you, and then we're looking for this. All right, and we're covering in here. And if we get back down into this range here, all right, and we're holding, we can think about exploration down here. I think it's more likely to be tomorrow, and we're probably going to hold this and range between this for the day, but this is why we're covering into there. All right, so you can see grey box, basically right there, grey to grey, box to box again. So it's the Lewis Hamilton trade, all right? Box to box, box to box, box to box, make a decision here, over here, relief, under here, more pain. That's probably a good way of putting it. 20% of your viewers cause 80% of your problems. And that's probably a good way of putting it. It's probably not even 20%. But it's the story of life, right? Like, we can have really good feedback and really nice comments and really nice all these things. It only takes one person to piss you off. Think about, like, you have a good day, you've had a great day at work, you've seen some friends, yada, 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 everything's going well, and then you're in the car and someone flips you the bird. Well, then you're fucking fuming, aren't you? And well, at least I am. And I'm like, get out of your fucking car, fucking go. Even though I've had the best day at work. Get out! Come and say it to my face. Interested in your class, do you have hands-on chart review and training? Yeah, we try and do lessons like every few weeks, and people post their charts in there all the time and ask questions. Like, I can see someone's asked this morning. Someone asked me more about the high volume nodes. So, and then someone else has asked me something as well. So I'll get through those as soon as I get off stream. But yeah, there's lots of pros to being in the Discord. Beyond me, there's other traders as well. All right, here it's looking like the undercut. We're going to come right back up. Okay, so box to box, they found the bid. If they hold this, they come to here, over this, new high. So I'm done with this now. I'm not going to give back to this whole level. Again, guess where Google found a bid? Did we say 370s? I think we did. I think we said 370s. Oh, no way. No way. All right, that's why I was watching that specific stock. Because it's about a 50% pullback, probably, visually. One 2 into key level. How it acts here becomes important now. If they fail this, back down. If they hold this, 2-leg pullback and new highs with a reason to move higher still, because it left pre-market highs up here. Okay, so that's why I was aware of that, because it's what's been giving the market strength today. If you didn't get short yet, this is your first opportunity. If you didn't take this with me now, this would be opportunity. All right, would be looking for failures in here. But I warn you now, we've had the low-hanging fruit here and here. A reclaim of this, you'll see new highs on the day. I will not be playing another short here. $1,265 on my first PA account. Thank you. You're welcome, man. Thanks, Alex. Your advice is great. I need to learn to be more patient and follow you. Lead also to learn more while you're explaining everything. I'm pretty new. Yeah, it's all good. Look, there's nothing wrong with being a new trader. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. But I need to do like maybe I need to do a little, maybe it's my fault and I'm not even being a dick. Maybe I need to do like a miniature course, which I tag to the stream, and it's like, watch this first. This is how I trade. Maybe that saves me a lot of that. Maybe that saves me the ag. Because it's not your guys' fault, really, if you're being nice and just asking a question. I just get tired of answering it. It's not your guys' fault for asking. Okay, so here's that same level. So it's the retest of that level, and you might go box again. I'm not taking this short. I've had a go at it. We've made money. We made, what do we get? 90s. That's a pretty good trade. We got 60 points out of it, right? Right. If you're taking this short, you need to be covering into here now. 70s to 60s is your first cover. If you're taking this, 70s to 60s is your first cover. Any reclaim of 400s, you better be out of it because it's new highs. There's a reason I'm not taking it, because I'm very concerned about an undercut and a hold and a trade back up now. Whereas first, we were extended 1, 2, 3, failure. All right, if they reclaim this, I'm concerned about that, which is why I personally am not taking this level for a short now. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. For me, edge is gone. You don't see where it says I did a trade. Yeah, well, I showed you where I was going to trade, and I guess here is where it says I did a trade. Maybe this is where it says it. Maybe this is it for you. Is this where it says it? Maybe this is it for you. Is that where it says I did a trade? Or maybe it's like my Lucid account, which I'm just slowly grinding back up. How do we make this smaller? Again, sized down on my Lucid now for reasons. Because I don't need to size up now. I just need to lock in minimums to take the payouts. So currently up over $12,000 on the day again. Another $256. All right, remember, I only need 5 trading days. I took a payout here. This one I think is under, so I need to do 2 more. Right, and the reason I'm not pushing it like I was here with size is because I can only take $8,000 to live, and I'm already up $12,000, and I'll pull 2 out. Probably have to be on Monday, right? So there's a reason I've sized down now. Because before I was trading big size, so I knew I could. Now I've sized down, just hitting the base hits and taking them out. Do you need to have a buffer before requesting payout in Lucid? I don't think you do on the Flex accounts. I think you need to make it to your buffer, but I think you can withdraw into your buffer. But maybe you guys know better than me there. Partial Tradeify today, nice work. Crickets, lol. Yeah, because it's always the way. It's always the way. But I get it. But it's like all you have to do is watch my videos on my X. I do post them. 10K payout. No, it won't be a 10K payout. It'll be a $2,000 payout. It will have to be on Monday because I think I need 150 in that first day. I missed it. So it have to be on Monday. another 2K, and then another 5 days and another 2K, and then unless AJ moves me to live earlier, which wouldn't surprise me given the win rate. But I should be able to get $8,000 out of it in payouts, and then $8,000 moved to live, and then a 90-10 split. On Lucid, no buffer, but you can only take 50% profit up to the max of the account. There you go. C1 is looking juicy. Cool level 1. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. Because I feel like this is the undercut, right? And look at Goog. Goog going. It's trying to get going off that 70s level. So there's the undercut. This was the obvious trade, right? Was for the failures down to this and down to this. Here's your reclaim of your first level, right? So anyone who got short under this is underwater. This is why we try and short breakdowns from highs, right? And if the pullbacks start to hold this node here now, right, then I agree with you. They will be looking for that. I agree with you. There's a reason I didn't take this here. Okay, we took it for the first breakdown because what? It's failure, right? 1, 2, 3, excess of the high, buyer's caught, big shelf, breakdown, probable failure back down. Touch back in, volume now or momentum now off these lows. Look at these big candles back in. Right, buyers took control of that back up with Goog. So the question now is this grey box, right? If buyers can bid this grey box, you're running out of time into lunch, then they will try and get that move. I'm probably done with it now for the day. We've had like really easy money. And it's VPOC. Yeah, exactly. You're quite right. Hold of daily VPOC. And I think it's... No, it's not. I was going to say, I think it's... This is the level from yesterday. This was our current week VPOC. Anyone who traded with me yesterday, I said, if you get relief here, all right, then you probably go to the 420s. This was that move. All right, this was that move. And now they based above. They came to it. They failed under it. We're back to it. All right, this was that move here. I think we talked about it in Discord last night for that drive up. When I say last night, it would have been after like just after the close. Let me find it. Sure, it's 420s. I just made that up. Yes, it was. There we go. All right, so the same levels day after days matter. Stops above this, right? Run the stops above this. Expansion into 416s. 420 POC level if they get there into earnings, which is what they did. We're back at that same level. So like I guess like I said earlier, the same levels matter all the time. They always matter. We trade to and from them, to and from them, to and from them. ESIB expansion. I would doubt it today. I think you're getting pokes of these highs and struggling, but let's have a look for you. Oh, well, maybe you're right, my friend. Well, the 1.5 would take you to 7221, 1.61, 7226. Biggest call wall today is 7230. Maybe. You're failing it at the moment. Maybe. Spiders at the biggest call wall is 715. That's the big one, right? So they're failing 715 on the spiders. Made 1500 today. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome. How can I get grey boxes, Alex? Jay, we have to draw them on, my friend. We draw them on. Okay, let's do this because lots of you are asking, so it just saves me doing it. Okay, when I come to the chart each day, this is my process. This is what I do. Daily, what are we doing in daily? I look at the daily. It's the first thing I do. What are we doing in daily? Okay, well, we're holding 5-day moving average, which is above the 20-day, above the 50-day, above the 200-day. We're bullish. We're bullish between 5-day and top Bollinger Band. Do we have room for expansion? Yes, we have room for expansion. Plenty of room for expansion if it wants. Okay, so we're bullish in terms of momentum and trend. Then I look at the bars. What are we printing? Well, we've already done our pullback. We held the RBS zone, all right, and we're trying to do breakout. That's the next thing. Overnight, we actually did a fail breakout. All right, so we had excess up here. So this morning, which is why I thought we'd probably trade down and then try and find a bid. So the first thing as I do is I look at the daily. What kind of condition are we in? All right, condition of the market. Then I move to the hourly. right? And I look at previous day value areas based on the New York session, which are previous day value area high, previous day point of control, previous day value area low, right? And I look at how we acted there. What did we do yesterday? We did ping pong. You would have seen me post it on X, joking around about ping pong. Okay, so these are the levels that I don't really want to trade in. Okay, I don't really want to trade in a ping pong. If you're a range trader, you want to trade in the ping pong. I'm not a range trader. I'm more of a momentum trader. Well, that's what I feel more comfortable with. So this morning when we opened up, what did we have? When I look at here, okay, we have buyers caught at the highs. We've repriced this, okay, and there's high probability of a pullback this morning. Now that pullback, I don't know where it's going to finish. Like I said, it might be this, it might be this, it might be this, it might be all the way down here. But I'd imagine buyers step in. So it's then up to you if you're going to take the short back down or if you're going to wait for the long back out, all right? Or if you're really good, you can trade both. I try and stick to one because my brain struggles to move through too many. How do I draw out the grey boxes, all right? We can see low volume node here, all right? So this is the top of the node. There's your low volume node here where they're trying to support a bid right now, and this is the edge. Okay, and we also have point of control. So grey boxes are always areas of interest for me. Okay, so we know that this is a level where the market keeps trying to hold. Under this is basically an edge where we go from thick to thin. Most of my boxes are from thick to thin, or they're RBS zones. All right, so we trade under, over, hold. Trap, 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 hold. Back in, hold. Back in today, hold. Big level. All right, so what are we seeing down here? Do you remember we always do that lesson? Big whale. All right, he's clearly trying to support the bid, or a big sponge. All right, passively absorbing the bid down here, saying, no, we're not coming lower than this. I want to support the bid here. I'm looking for new all-time highs. Okay, so we understand that by seeing that big volume is traded there, and every time we come under this big volume node into a low volume node, we react up, 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 up. Okay, we flip that. We look downside, pro trend downside. Then we can move into lower time frame charts. Okay, so we can look at what happened overnight and we can look at the edges. All right, so the best way of me doing this is probably actually to move to here. Remember, I'm always interested in the New York session. Okay, so New York session, 9:30 to 4 o'clock. Make sure that's not extended. It's not. Okay, and you can see the edges. Where have I marked the edges? Where are the low volume nodes? Just outside of value, right? So we mark previous day point of control, previous day value area high, and we mark the edges. Where can we not find acceptance underneath? Where we have low volume. I doesn't like trading either side of this right now in the range. Okay, so we mark those out. Then what do we look at? We can look at overnight. Right, overnight was huge range. So we can do the same thing from the next open, Thursday open. Don't worry, I'm just giving you everything for free here. This horrible, horrible guy giving you everything for free. And we pull that right up to the 9:30. I have to zoom out here a little bit. Right, that was our overnight range. All right, so here's our value area high from overnight, where we've left buyers trapped above. All right, here's our point of control from overnight. What happened this morning? We failed it, right? We failed this and we repriced to what? Value area low from overnight. Once we fail value area low from overnight, where do we reprice to? We trade in yesterday's value. Previous day value area high, previous day point of control, previous day value area low. We undercut. What happens here? Whale steps in. We find bids. Where do we go back to? Ooh, back to value area high. Okay, what happens now? Now we're trading inside overnight session above previous day session, filling in some of this while it makes its mind up. All right, what happened in here? We were very thin, so we can reprice all this. We can build volume out into this because we were very thin there this morning. So grey boxes, I mean, it's up to you how you draw them. Maybe you're drawing low volume nodes. Some of the guys in my chat draw low volume nodes. I kind of use them as edges where I think the market will find some form of reaction. It doesn't have to form a reaction, but it's probably likely to find some form of reaction. We didn't find a reaction here this morning, did we? All right, so what happened next? We traded under it. We sliced straight through at the open, ran all the late balls out, but we found a reaction here. There's your reaction. There's your bear flag. We trade down, we chop, we find a reaction here. All right, same place we found a reaction the last 2 days. We have a downtrend. You see compression while we don't get short in churn, and then you see relief. Once we get relief, where do we go back to? A place where I think we might get a reaction. The same place we got reaction this morning, the same place we shorted this morning. We wait for buyers to get stuck. We have excess at highs. I can show you in here. I'm sure it will show it. Right, this candle right here, full of buyers at the highs. We go from big positive delta into a negative delta, and we crack the 90s, and we trade back downside to where? Right, where we last had a reaction. Right, there's your structure. Right, now we're testing the same level. This is just how the market operates. Right, it doesn't matter what you're trading. It really does not matter what you're trading. You need to pick a trading vehicle that suits your personality. My feeling is NQ is probably one of the best day trading vehicles, because even on small days, it offers ATR, big ATR moves. Why? Because tech moves fast. Most of the money in the world is piled into tech, right? So for day trading, NQ is a really good vehicle for making money, day trading. For swing trading, you are probably far better to position into something which has more liquidity and is thicker, like SPY, like ES, right? If you're looking for more edge in a market, you probably want something which has more inefficiencies, like a small cap turd, like the one we looked at yesterday. Okay? That is me being a kind teacher for you, okay? Like, you will. This is not me blowing my trumpet, but you are not getting this from other traders for free on live stream. They're going, oh, it's a cross, long hit, fuck, I lost my money. Did you guys follow me and lose money? All right. Volume matters, guys. Volume matters. Thin volume and thick volume matter for different reasons. Thin volume, all right, is where price doesn't like to be. That's why it's thin. For those of you who trade fair value gaps, all right, if it's a real fair value gap, if we've actually traded thin volume there, it means there's no price acceptance there, which means it's either way too cheap or way too expensive. But either way, it means no one wants to trade that price. No one is interested in trading that price, because if they were interested in that price, we would go sideways, right? For example, no one this morning was interested in buying here. All right, so all we did was sell straight through. There was some participation here. Why? Because we've seen participation here before. Once we lost that, we trade straight through. Where was everyone interested in trading price today? Where's a big chunk of volume? Here. Is that surprising? No. Why not? Well, it's yesterday's fair value. This was the most traded level yesterday. Guess what? It's now the most traded level of the current week. All right? This has now become the most traded level of the current week since the Sunday open. So this is a fair value area, right? This is where the market will gravitate to. We did, until yesterday, have a fair value area of 420. So we've traded from one to the other, right? Once we break above this node, what happens? We're thin, right? We were pretty thin in here this morning, so we trade up. Whoop. Okay, now we're in an area where price is deeming the market to be fair value. Why? Because it's done it before. Then we go sideways, all right? Thick, thin, thick. Trade fast, trade slow. Trade fast, trade fast, trade slow. Trade slow. Range, momentum. Yes? Make sense? All right, think about it. I'll draw it out. Let's think about a typical market. Fast, slow, Or like you can fast, slow, fast, fast, recovery, bounce, fast, slow. Maybe fail breakout, come back down, slow, maybe recover. All right, very typical market. Something like this is a very typical market. So where does our edge come? When traders are trapped, which is in ranges. Because in ranges, if we were going to draw a volume profile here, it would look like this. Move this along a bit. Right, it would look like this, wouldn't it? Okay. When we break an area, we can look for the next area. All right. So when we break this, momentum is likely to take us down to here. Now, that is not always true if they're going to use it as a trap, because if they use it as a trap, then a whale will sit in here and absorb the tape. And what you'll see is this move. Yeah. Which is why if we're going to play breakdown shorts here, our stops need to be the other side of volume. We need to use volume to protect it. Now, sometimes you'll see me take it off early because I can see the shift in the tape. That's just from too many years of doing this, being an old man. All right. But ideally, you're taking the breakdown of this level to this level. It's a partial. We don't know how long it's going to run for. Maybe it continues to run and you get fully out here. When we see a structural change, okay, then we're likely to lift up. Here's a very typical trap where buyers come in here, we wash back down, we recover, inverted head and shoulder, off a pivot, upside. Yes, I can show you that happening probably live at the moment. Right, very, very typical trap. Volume built out, dive back down, held the pivot. Look at this, dum 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 dum, Quasimodo, whatever you want to call it, upside. This very typical trap. This is why we don't short lows. This is why we short high volume node breakdowns into the next node, into a key level. This is also previous day close, VWAP, Gamma, and the Google 270s. Okay, and this now has probably caught shorts who weren't smart enough to short here, but chased here and now get a lift. There you go. And this is the level. Yes? Does that make sense? Market auction theory. Yes, exactly. And that's just how price moves. Is the volume indicated based on options or previous volume? This, nothing to do with options, mate. This is volume from the New York session. All right, so this is from 9:30. This is how we've built out volume. This is what 9:30's done. Look at this. Like I said, it's probably a live execution of it. This is their target right now. Why? Look at the volume here. Do we have any volume here? No, very, 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 very thin. So the bears will be wanting bulls to get aggressive here and slam them back down. The bulls will want bears to get aggressive here and reprice this back up. And what we would do in this area, because we don't have much in New York, what we'd do is we'd look at the higher time frames. What's happened when we've been up here before? Okay, what's happened up here before? Well, this is the current week developing profile. We actually have nodes here. 52s, there is a node here above 52s, 90s. All right, so 52s, we might see a reaction. If we don't see a reaction of 52s, and again, remember I talked about the H1 rebalance today. Big sell, price back in. Just think about this. If you were doing Malaysian SNR, all right, support becomes resistance. This grey box is not only a node, is not only value area high from current week, is also where these H1 bulls stopped out. Okay, if we reprice this and hold it, they will try and get up here. So it's putting everything together. You have to put everything together. You can zoom out further than that and look at the previous, or is this the current week? This is the current week. So what's this? This is today. Okay, this is the current week. Okay, my bad, even worse. All right, so this node here, if we base over this node here since the Sunday open, this is volume since Sunday. If we're able to base over 40s, then we now have thick, thin, thick. So we found a bid, we hold a bid. If they can base over this, they have a very good chance at an op shot. Why? Well, we're pretty thin, aren't we? We compare this volume. Right, so buyers holding this, If buyers can hold this, we can extend value up. It's a big ask, but that's it. There we go. 15 minutes into lunch. A decent 15-minute lesson there for you. Do I use a fib? Yeah, I mean, I do, but like I can visually see it. Like I can see right now we're probably at the 61. Like I don't have to draw it on from the New York Open. We're probably at the 61 or above. There you go. In the golden pocket. If we go from the high, we'll be at the 61. There or thereabouts. There you go. No worries, Roland. Oh, I remember someone did ask a question earlier and I missed it. Let me zoom up, see if I can find it. I'm really sorry, whoever that was. Here we go. Past my Tradeify building, my stable 20 accounts. Nice work, top 40. Maybe it was just you sending that while we were looking at it. Hopefully it was and I haven't missed too much else. Apologies if I have. If not, you can just write it now. Do most sessions have 2 large volume nodes, or can there be more? It all depends on the type of day we're in. Thanks, Tony. It all depends on the type of day we're in. All right, so we have lots of different types of profiles. All right, so when we're in a range, and we have profiles within profiles. When we're in a range, we're in a D-shaped profile. All right, just this will be the last part I'll do, and then I'm going to get out of here. All right, so if price, let's say this is a daily chart. There's a daily, and we have an inside bar, and then we break down, and then we do some of this down here for a few days. All right, so the weekly profile down here will be what? A D shape. All right, if this was a lower time frame chart and this was a 5 minute, it'd still be a D shape. All right, which is when you play the range. You want to sell the tops, buy the lows. Right, ideally you want to see a failed breakout, trade back inside, like a Wyckoff failed breakout, trade back inside. Right, those are the easy ones. They trap momentum players like me outside of it and trade back in. Those are your ranges. Those would be D shapes. In a typically bullish day, we'd be a P shape, right? Because price maybe starts here, comes down, finds an aggressive bid, and then settles down up here. That would be the D of the P, right? In a bearish day, we'd be a B shape, right? Because maybe price pokes up in the morning, slams back down, and does this for a bit, right? That could have been us today if we didn't rebid back up. If we think about this, if we hadn't rebid back up today, and we just, let's say the day closed here. This was our 4 o'clock close. All right, that would be a B shape, wouldn't it? All right, and a trend day, right, tends to look like this. Right, why? Because price is just maybe price starts here. Right, that's a trend day. No D, no P, no B. Trend. Lots of nodes. All depends on the type of day that we're in. Do you have any books that you consider must reads? I'm not a big book guy. Do you mean on this type of trading specifically? Just read anything on like market auction theory, Wyckoff theory. Definitely all the market auction theory stuff by what's his name? My brain is failing me today. I'm sorry. Dalton, thank you. Thank you. By Dalton. I got reported for hedging on Lucid because I was switching through my PC to my phone. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what to say about that. Try Tradeify for scalping. Horrible bad fills, large commissions compared to Apex or TPT when using TradeSyncer. I mean, I don't understand why you would have worse fills when they all use the same data. It might be that if you're trading them all together, that they're slower to activate. But and I can't comment on the commissions. Like we talked about that yesterday. They all had different round trip commissions. I made 5K today. Thanks, Alex. That's insane. Nice. Kept trying to leave, but another lesson coming. Yeah, there we go. Read the last few questions here. Sorry. Listening to you and seeing live just made me realize a lot of my mistakes. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. How long did it take me to master Bookmap and order flow? I don't know, man. No, not too long. It's not too hard once you understand the concept and understand what you're looking for. It's not too hard. Hello, Flozan. You missed my comment about saying this again. I need your advice. I don't know what to do. I'm losing so much money on evals. I blew 3 fundeds today, 2 yesterday. I'm on huge tilt. You need to walk away. There's my advice. You need to take a break. A mental break means you've got no self-control right now and you're not sticking to your plan. So I would take a long weekend. I wouldn't even show up tomorrow. Take Friday off, take Saturday off, take Sunday off. Don't even look at the charts. Don't do anything to do with them. Go and have some fun. Come back Monday. And maybe you just go back to paper trading for a bit and you just start dialing in and sticking to one trade, just one trade setup, and master that trade setup before you move on and do anything else. Alex, do you care about a sweep of the previous session or previous value areas? Yeah, ideally, Willy Wonka, definitely, what a name, Willy Wonka bar. Yeah, ideally we do, but like we came down and took previous day value area low, which was a good sign. I think it was yesterday when we were talking about the short up here. I didn't like it. We took it, but I said to you, there's no way we leave these highs up here and don't come back for it. So I think we were short here yesterday and here yesterday. I was like, they will come back for those. They've left them there for a reason. There they go. So yes, ideally we see stops run before we look for the trade the other direction. Won't always happen. It won't always happen, but in an ideal scenario, that's what you would see. But like this today was good. Value area low taken. 1, 2 attempts to break down failed. That's what trapped the shorts. That was the relief. Last few questions here. Am I long now? No, I'm done for the day now. Finished. Ban Waffy. I can't even see it. Oh, the guy saying that. No, don't worry about it. I asked them what I did wrong. They say we already told you with no explanation. I don't know what to say there, mate. I don't run the prop firms. If you've hedged, you will be in trouble. That's normal with any firm. The only time you will get let off that is if like you're trade copying and like say you went long and it flips one and because it doesn't fill. Let's say you're long on 5 accounts and you've got take profit up here, a limit buy up here, and let's say your limit sell up here, limit buy here, and let's say your limit buy filled on 4 accounts and not on 1. I've had this before, and then it comes up and you've got you put it in this bracket order and it sells partials on some, but it starts a new short position on 1. They will let you off that if you see it quick enough and cancel it, but otherwise they won't. Any chance of seeing Globex high today? There's always a chance. I don't think it's highly probable, but there's always a chance. I don't think it's highly probable. I think we probably trade in this range. Okay, weakness will come underneath this. If they base above here, they will try and get up there. But you're asking the market to really turn around. Like again, look at the mag. Doesn't look great. It does not look great. I don't think we get up there. I don't think there's a shot in hell of it. Honestly, I think we probably trade around. Probably not even in this top box. Probably just in here and build out. But I would say if you trade down here again, this looks pretty bad for the market. Because this is going to be a lot of times down where this whale's been absorbing. Once he gives up and becomes a seller, if not once, but if he gives up and becomes a seller, it's going to get nasty. New to trading, I struggle with mental discipline. When I lose one trade, I can't get off the charts, and I always want to make it back. Well, then do the best you can to put something in order that forces you to get off. So, like maybe you have your max loss and you're stopped out for the day, you can't log back in. Use like a Guardian or something if they don't have it already for your thing. Do I know anyone that's a successful algo trader? No. Can I comment on VIX? VIX is at 1750s. It's the same level. Nothing really to comment on there. Any practices and guidance for owning individual stocks? I mean, owning means you're investing. I mean, you just want good stocks at good discount. It's really that simple. It's that simple. Good stocks, good ETFs at good discount. We've talked about that many, many times. Do I recommend anyone that teaches standard deviation? Let me see if he's still active. I haven't seen him active for a long time. I think they might have finished. I know he had cancer, so. I think they've gone. I don't think they exist anymore. Connor at Boiler Room used to trade just standard deviations. But I just don't know. I don't know if he even does it anymore. Can I review all the trades I took today? Yes. It's the last thing I'm doing, guys, and then we'll do the giveaway. In fact, let's before I forget. Right. Just type FCT in chat once. I'll give you guys a minute while I show these trades. I'll give you guys a minute. So what we took today was this here. I don't remember how far we got. I think I got it off here, the first trade. Right, so we took this for like 100 plus points. Why did we take that? Because we let go of volume. Momentum came in for the sell. Once we let go of this volume node, we were always going to trade down to the next volume node, close the gap, VWAP, and previous day value area high. So that was your 100 plus point to start the day. The second trade in was an extension of this. I think I took here, didn't I, after we let go of value, or just before. So it was a rotation of previous day's value. So once we started to lose previous day's value area high, we were looking for shorts here to come back down to previous day point of control. Right, so this was a tighter one, previous day point of control. And some of you got this. I don't think I got value area low. I can't remember. But this trade here. So that was a rotation of yesterday. All right, so that's yesterday. So one was a failure to yesterday's value. The second trade was a rotation of yesterday's value. Then I told you, don't be short in here now. We've done the move. All right, there's the compression. Some of you took the longs, right, from value area low back to value area high. Some of you took the value area high. Think about this. Base and hold for the extension. I didn't take either of these. The next trade I took was another short, which was the failure of 90s back down towards here. So I think I was slightly early when I saw it, and then I added in on weakness. I remember saying I'm going to take this pop and add in weakness, and we got down towards this. I didn't quite get the cover down here, but I got close. So we got another 60 points there. So you got like 90 odd points there, 100. we probably got 250 points if you got the full size overall. Those were the trades. Some of you took the short at the open, which I called but told you I wasn't going to take. Yeah, so that's it. Let me just turn this aircon off and we'll pull this winner. Where is it? All right. Let's pull this winner. 3, 2, 1. Ham Jam VV3LG. Ham Jam for the free Apex account. Are you here, Ham Jam? Yeah, nice. Hamdam. Okay, just send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube, okay? And sort you out with a free Apex account there. I've made a note of your name. We'll do it. The introduction to trading course. Just type course once in chat. It's only 2 hours long. It's only good for people who've never, ever traded before. So just type course in chat. Just type it once, please. Don't spam. Look at Goog. Remember we talked about Goog. This is what's having an impact right now. See that 70 hold? Again, so the same way to trade, right? Flush, first bounce, lower high, run the stops, compression, higher low, rip back up, pull back into where? All right? Resistance becomes support with the VWAPs, with the gamma, 2 leg, higher low, rip back up, trying to now build out one of these. Where's it trying to go? It's trying to take pre-market high, right? And a 75 break on that, they're trying to get the squeeze to 80. So this is why I was watching this while we were trading NQ. The moment it held this, we knew NQ was probably done, right? Because this is the market leader today. This is the guy dictating whether we're risk on or risk off. All right, let's pull this winner. 3, 2, 1. Pavel Atanasov, maybe Atanasov. Sorry, mate. Pavel Atanasov. Are you here, Pavel? Nice. Congrats, man. All right, just send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Screenshot of you logged into YouTube. I'll sort you out with an introduction course. It's very short. It's only 2 hours long. It's only good for someone who hasn't traded before. But it does get you a little discount on the bigger courses if you're interested. All right. info@flowzonetrader.com. Have I heard anything good about alpha futures? I don't trade with them. I've seen people trade with them. I've never even looked at them, my friend. So I can't. I don't want to comment. I can't comment. If I haven't traded with them, I can't comment. But I see a lot of people talking about them. All right. Past 12 accounts. Nice, Art. Nice work. Any recommendation for live traders London session, buddy? What, tonight? Mate, I can't. Like, I wish I could. Or do you just mean in general? I mean, look, the same rules apply. The same rules apply with everything, right? So you need to look at what the volumes are. If you're trading London, look at previous day New York, right? And then look at what Asia's done, right? And mark out where's your support and resistance levels from there. Where did buyers and sellers get stuck? Where did we trade thick? Where did we trade thin? Right? And then trade it the same way as you would anything else. Right? It's nothing changes. But if you're asking me more in terms of where are we going to be in London, I have no idea, folks, because we are still inside right now of this sort of big old range. And we have Apple earnings tonight. We have to wait. We just have to wait and see. Who's my favorite prop firm and why? I would say at the moment it is probably Lucid. Why? Very good value. Very good rules. It's probably the flex accounts for me. Very good rules. They paid out. You would have seen me. I posted last Friday or Thursday. They literally paid me in under a minute from me requesting it to me hitting my bank account. No bullshit rules. AJ's running a great firm there. Customer service is really good. Back end is really good to show you your stats and stuff. They are probably number one right now, I would say. I think they've got the edge. I think Apex had the chance to have the edge in the market with the 20 accounts, which is still great, but I think they priced themselves out a little bit. I think those prices need to come back down for them to be really competitive again. Still really good if you're sizing up and you want 20 accounts, or if you're new and you don't want to pay full price because you're going to blow through some evals. Still really good. And then I'd say TPT for me as well. I love taking daily payouts from TPT. I took another one yesterday. I think I've got it on here somewhere. Somewhere. Maybe I deleted it. I'm sure it was yesterday. Anyway, paid myself 3K last night. Take profit. There you go. So that was processed this morning. So I think I put in that request yesterday. So I love TPT for just like constant cash supply. Who was that? Lucid. Yeah, Lucid, I think. I'm using Apex to learn with skin in the game. I think that's a great idea, mate. Any more movement left in the market? Absolutely. You've got a whole day ahead of you. Absolutely. I still would not be fully surprised to see this come back down again. But maybe one poke up here. This is still the important shelf at the moment, and then maybe back down there. If they base and hold and go risk on, we'll see. But really depends what they want to do into close. I'm done with it now. I think the edge has gone in the market. The edge today was down into here. This was the buying opportunity, which I didn't take. This was a buy opportunity, which I didn't take. This was the sell back in. And now we're into lunch, and we just, look at this node starting to develop, right? This is your edge to edge. For me, I'd need to see us leave this. I can't see me taking another trade today, if I'm fully honest with you. Blue up 2 evals and 1 payout today. Why? I don't think today was too hard. Did you get frustrated trading this? I don't think it was too hard. Momentum was there. Just had to wait for it and be selective. I think this is one of the easier days to trade today. Yesterday was an awful day. I've never done Tradeify for daily payouts now. I've traded with them, but I haven't done the whatever they're called. Select, is it? Or whatever they're called. Do I have an opinion on Fabio? I think he's a great trader. I haven't watched too much of his stuff. I mean, he's number one. He's like number one trader in the world. The end of story. Like in terms of like the challenges and stuff. I don't know if he's number one trader of size in the world or what number one profits in the world, but like he reads markets very, very well from what I've seen, and he has a track record in the cups to prove it. Unlike someone else who claims to be the best, but we yet to ever see anything. He trades like me. Well, he trades order flow. Yeah, he trades order flow. He looks for trap participants or aggressive participants. I mean, that is just the way the markets work. Once you start to see this stuff, you'll never unsee it. You will never, ever, ever, ever unsee it. All right, team. God, I've gone way over today. All my days. Oh, my days. All right, folks. So back again tomorrow. Let's close out this week strong. New day tomorrow and Friday. We'll see how we set up into the Friday. We've built out quite a big range here this week. So it really depends what we do with the Apple earnings. See how it goes. See whether we go into market breakout. What order flow software do I use? I use a tool that that someone else has built with me called Ninja, which I'll be releasing soon. It's a flow zone tool, and I use Bookmap. All right. Peace and love, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow. Trade safe. Remember, we've had 3 good trades today. Maybe if some of you have took the long back up, that's 4 good trades. How many trades do you need in a day? All right. Not that many. Do not overforce it. Remember, once we made this one today, I told you, I'm pretty much done. All right. And trade safe. Use hard stops. Be aware. We still have headline risk. We've all got a little bit complacent recently that we haven't had headline risk. We still have headline risk. So just make sure you've got those stops in, because we can get a comment from Iran or Trump or whoever at any point with what's going on there. All right. Peace and love. I'll chat to you tomorrow morning. Trade safe.